Get higher, baby. Get higher, baby. Get higher, girl.
Slashercast. Slashercast.
What a tip.
In this town we call home. Everyone hail to the pumpkin song.
Way to ruin a good intro.
God damn it.
Happy Halloween, get the trick-or-treating, baby, get your candy.
Let's talk about our favorite candy in this episode. I like Wonka bars.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Slashercast, episode number 5. This is our Halloween episode. We are going to be doing a different type of episode tonight. We are going to introduce everybody soon. We're going to have a double review of Paranormal Activity 3 and Grave Encounters. After that, we are going to have found footage recommendations where each of us picks a movie that works in the found footage subgenre, and we take turns discussing the film that we picked. Thereafter, we'll have a couple questions about found footage, and then after that, we are going to... I guess we'll have a circle jerk. Just want to introduce...
Christ, please edit that out.
Ted, we need a pivot man.
Jesus.
Pivot man.
All right. Let's get to introducing everybody. Let's go to Ted first, since he was outspoken. Hello, Ted.
Hello, Jack. Circle Jack.
Let's go to Nick.
New Jersey Nick.
No, it's Nick. And Dave.
Hey, what's up?
All right. Mike might be joining us. That's the last that we heard of him. He's off in New York trying to become a millionaire. We're going to find out if he did or not. If he does, you'll find out on our page, our website. All right. First off, how's everybody doing this evening?
Pretty great.
Yeah, great.
Fantastic.
Enjoying our Halloween because this is Halloween.
This is Halloween, isn't it?
It is Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Yes. Ted.
Yes.
Or I guess I shall call you Evil Ted. How was your Evil Ted? How was your zombie run?
It was a lot of fun. So for anybody that is not clued in so far, this past weekend, or last weekend rather, I participated in the first Zombie 5K in Darlington, Maryland, way out in the sticks. Ton of people there. I think there was something like 9,000 people there, and just way out in the boonies. And it's a 12 obstacle. Like 5K obstacle course, and the whole thing is populated with zombies, with volunteers dressed up as zombies. And basically, what we did is we were all fitted with belts that had health tags on them, and the objective was to get through the 5K, which is about like 3-something miles, I think, so not too bad. As well as the obstacles, which consisted of jumping over bales of hay, climbing up rope ladders and down rope ladders and through, muddy tubes and stuff like that. So again, not too bad, but you had to avoid all of these zombies who were going for your health tags. And there was 2 ways that you could finish up. You could finish up as a survivor, which to do so you had to have, I think, at least one of your health tags in order to be a survivor. Or you could finish as a zombie, and that would happen if you lost all of your health tags. I finished as a zombie.
Loser.
I know. This was, dude, so many people did that, man. These zombies were fucking aggressive as hell.
See, it's a morality play. It really shows you what would happen at the end of the world.
I guess so, man. And I mean, some of these, I thought these were going to be like the Shamblers, and they were going to be, total like pussies about it. But no, man, they got like fucking like local high school linebackers to dress up as like zombie nuns, and we're just like bum rushing you. It was ridiculous. And of course, you have the tags like hanging over the belt, and so the zombie makes a lurch for it, and it's like, oh hey, excuse me, that's not my flag, that's my dick. Could have slapped a lot of these zombies with a lawsuit, but decided not to. But yeah, it was it really was a lot of fun. And then my friends and I that I went up there with, we stayed and camped out. They had a nice little festival afterwards. A lot of great musical acts, a lot of great food, different booths. Yeah, just an awesome time. I know that the Run for Your Lives, I believe, is the name of the organization, or the name of the event planning, something or other. And I know that they're planning on doing a lot more of these in the future. So check them out online and see if the Zombie 5K is coming to your town. That's it.
Dave, anything going on with you, sir?
No, not really. Everything that I have is for bringing up on the podcast later. So I've just been watching a lot of horror films today after I came back from vacation. So nothing but horror today.
Awesome.
Lots of found footage.
And you did do the Horror University thing that's going to be up on the site soon. Am I not?
Yes, that is literally. I was literally putting the finishing touches to post it right now.
Fantastic.
You mean right a couple of days ago?
So as of time of recording, I will have hit the publishing button. So it'll be a couple days ago. When
what do you mean recording?
This is live, man.
Yes, we use that special like space-time recording, where they hear it at any point where they're hearing it live.
All right, if you say cosmic bending, I'm all right with that. I mean, if we employed quantum physics to get this made, that sounds pretty important.
Yeah.
How about you, Senior Nick, or New Nightmare Nick?
I don't know. I got nothing really going on. We got a couple of comments on the website here and there. We got an ass clap.
Yes, we did get an ass clap.
If nobody knows what that means, go back and listen to episode 4 with the thing all the way through.
Exactly.
Please.
And there might be something like that on this episode. Who knows?
Oh, there might be. I'm coming up with it already.
Yeah. I actually had a fantastic weekend. And Nick, you were part of that.
I was?
For one day.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Uh-oh. No, Nick was there with his wife.
Oh, I like where this is going.
I know. No, I had my my very first Halloween screening, and we watched. It was horror musical night. I decided to go nice this year rather than have blood and guts, and we watched Rocky Horror Picture Show with the subtitle track on the Blu-ray, where you can the audience participation track, and also Little Shop of Grindhouse, which is Little Shop of Horrors done in a Grindhouse version, which is black and white standard frame with the original 10 to 15 minute ending. And Nick, if I'm not mistaken, that was your first time seeing Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. It was all right. I'm not crazy for it, but it was fun. I mean, seeing it in that atmosphere was a lot of fun. You wouldn't know it because, Jack's a big nerd, and you'd think he'd be a big horror nerd and nothing else, but he's actually a good party host.
Oh,
and we have a lot of fun at his place, and he buys us lots of booze.
That's true.
And he's got a fog machine.
Oh, dude, there was so much fog in my apartment.
There was so much fog in his apartment. We went out on the patio, and it was rolling up over the top of the house like it was on fire.
It's one of those you had to be there things. But we did have a great time. One thing I did want to bring up is something that kind of ties in with the Paranormal Activity 3, which we're going to be reviewing pretty soon. James Wan, are you guys familiar with James Wan?
Yeah.
Director of Saw, Dead Silence.
Yes, sir.
Insidious.
And Inception.
Well,
and Death Sentence.
No, go ahead.
Inception. I just got that. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad somebody got that.
Thanks a lot, Ted. I'm never going to live that down, am I?
Never.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, well, James Wan, basically, after Paranormal Activity 3 came out this weekend and crushed everything at the box office and became the highest grossing horror film of all time, not of all time, but, weekend box office. Opening, yeah.
There we go.
That's the one. He actually, it's not on his page anymore. I don't know why, but on his, I believe his Facebook and also Twitter page, he basically congratulated the Paranormal Activity franchise. And he said that he's very proud of them, for beating Saw. And I think that's very noble of the guy because, everybody's bitching and moaning that there's no more Saws. And everybody's bitching and moaning about Paranormal Activity, because now we have 3 and I'm sure there's going to be 4. And he's actually congratulating them, which is pretty noble. So, I just want to tip my hat off to James Wan for being such a cool guy. That's all I got. You guys are mesmerized by that, aren't you?
I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, normally, it's like, I just think it's really cool that he actually stepped up and said that, because a lot of the Saw fans are bitching about Paranormal Activity, taking over their limelight. But
Are they really?
oh my gosh, yeah, dude, you gotta see it.
I think they need to calm the fuck down.
Yeah, it's a nightmare out there, man. But
like, if you're a horror fan, just stick with it.
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, back in the day, we were always like, well, Jason would win in a fight with Freddy. No, Freddy would win. And then when Jason actually did win, we kind of calmed that down.
That's true. But you know what? They did shoot other endings, and that ending was
the other endings suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where Freddy wins, it was really dumb. Like, even if that had been the ending, I would have been unhappy with it. In addition to the fact that Jason wouldn't have won, I didn't. I'm just saying, Jason should have won. He did.
Oh, bloody hell.
I just moved in my new house today. Moving was hard, but I got squared away. When bells started ringing and chains ran loud, I knew I'd moved in a haunted house. Still I made up in my mind to stay.
And we're back. Mike has actually joined our show. Say hello, Mike.
Hey guys, I finally made it.
All
Did
right.
you win?
Did you win
I
$1 million?
did not discuss that with anyone. I'm actually seriously not even allowed to discuss it with my wife because she did not attend the taping.
Wait, you're not going to tell your wife?
No, I can't.
Wow.
You're not going to tell your wife?
It's a legal contract. They were very, very, very specific about
Your
that.
wife?
Yes, because I brought that point up like 4 times. I said, so spouses? No? And they're like, no. I was like, oh? No spouses.
Did they say podcast mates?
The woman I sleep next to. Occasionally. No, they can't. Absolutely can't.
Can you text it to me?
All right. Until February.
All right, we are going to do a double review. First up is Paranormal Activity 3. Quick synopsis of Paranormal Activity 3 takes place during 1988, during the early years of sisters Katie and Christy from Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. It's a prequel to Part 2, in which Part 2 is a prequel and sequel to Part 1. It's the beginning of the sisters and family being haunted by a paranormal being. The events are recorded by the mother's boyfriend Dennis, who is a videographer. Basically, haunts happen, shit happens, scares happen, and there's some paranormal activity. It stars nobody you've seen before, unless you're a Jeremy Sisto crushed with Baba Booey fan. The film is directed by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman of Catfish fame. We are going with Mike's review first. Mike.
First, I want to thank you, Jack, for ruining some of the things I was going to say by pointing out that they directed Catfish. But that's okay. No. You do your job.
And he did look like Baba Booey. That's I was looking at him like, who does he look like?
In certain lights, he looked like Jeremy Sisto as well, too.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Anyway, I liked it. A lot of people I knew were raving about it. I wasn't quite in the raving category of it. There were enough inconsistencies of some things that it kind of threw me off a little bit. And I thought there were a little bit more jump scares than there were in some of the other movies. It was a little bit less cerebral, for lack of a better term. However, I do think it was done well. I thought they did a good job of explaining why this family would have such a solid recording equipment in their house in that time frame, and why they would actually be able to film and edit and film and edit. So it seemed somewhat natural, although there were a few extra expositionary things that are said throughout the film. I'm like, well, I think we would have gotten that. You didn't have to say that. That being said, there were a number of things missing from the film that were in the trailer that I was kind of looking for.
Oh, wait, we're gonna discuss that a little in the spoiler part.
That's fine. We can get to that later, but that was something that was distracting to me because I was in my head expecting certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say if you can avoid the trailer before you see it, it will make it a better experience for you. It's not as good as the first one for me. Maybe slightly better than the second, although I keep going back and forth on that. But I really like what these guys did. I really liked Catfish, so I think they have a promising future ahead of them if they keep building on this. I just want them to do something that's not a self-recorded movie.
All right. Dave?
All right, I'm going to take the opposite of what Mike says. I like the movie. It's okay. But there's just parts of it that fucking drive me nuts. My biggest problem with this film, they explained shit. We'll go into the spoiler stuff later in the discussion, but they explain shit. And when they explain shit, they fucking ruin it. There's no imagination anymore. It's all fucking gone. That's what pisses me off about this film. I enjoyed the build up and like Mike said about the conceit of why they have all this recording equipment. And I like that, like, in the second film, they started to expand upon this whole world, but they kind of just talked about it a little bit. And then at this film, they decide we're going to expand upon it, but we're also going to start explaining why certain things are and go a little bit more into detail. And that just fucking pissed me off.
That the subtlety is lost.
Yes.
I can't wait for the discussion now. I'm getting excited.
So I'll leave it there because I want to leave out the spoiler stuff with it. So go ahead.
And your review there wasn't too subtle. So
yeah. I mean, like I say, okay. But it's like, okay, borderlining on fucking bullshit.
Nice. All right, let's go to Nick.
All right, just real quick, my views on the first two. The first one was real clever. It was a breath of fresh air for horror in general when it first came out 2 years ago, and it was pretty fucking scary. People were, screaming in the theater like they were on a roller coaster. It had jumpy scares, but it really delivered on jumpy scares that in ways that other movies just can't figure out how to do. You know what I mean? And then the second one, I actually saw the second one just yesterday after seeing the third one. And I think that that's important, and we'll get to why in the spoilers. But the second one, I think, was a lot slower. It was only like jumpy scares, no creep factor. You know what I mean? What word did you use, Mike? What did you just say?
Cerebral?
It wasn't a cerebral.
Oh, exposition?
No, cerebral. I already took that.
Sorry. I thought you were still
talk about. Well, they talk about in the story in 2 a lot of stuff that isn't what happens in 3. So if you saw the first 2 and you're like, well, she said that her mom was really sad and that she didn't talk for months, is that going to be in this movie? No, that doesn't happen in this movie. I don't even know why they say that, because it doesn't even seem like it happened to the characters in this movie, which is a little weird. But anyway, the movie, one thing it did really well for me as a kid of the 80s, it captured the homebound 80s atmosphere very well. And I'm not talking about like Madonna and 80s movies like, you'd expect 80s movies to be like, but the cameras remind me of my dad's camera. There's Teddy Ruxpin, the colors of the furniture and stuff, and the curtains even look like my mom's old curtains. Crazy stuff that kind of pulled me in and put me there. It was a little bit more immersive for me being a child of the 80s. And I think that the movie was really scary, really intense. And I don't really think that movies are scary, but I'd say that this one was probably in the top, I don't know, top 10, maybe top 15 if I really thought about it. But it's very effective, just like the other two were. The whole found footage thing really does draw you in and give you that extra level of immersion that you don't get in other movies. Plus, there's creepy kids in this movie, and creepy kids are always creepy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
One thing that they use is an oscillating camera that goes left to right in the living room to watch what's going on, and you know that they use that to make simple and effective scares. And I guess I'll save it for the spoiler.
Yeah,
right when we start the spoiler section, I got to say it out loud, okay?
Yes.
Otherwise, yeah, I noticed that there was stuff missing from the trailers, but I actually kind of liked it, and I'll tell you why once we get to the spoiler part. But overall, this movie I'd put second out of the three. You can't replicate the first one. Just like with almost any horror movie, sometimes you can perfect it. Like Freddy does it. The first one's great, but then the third one is, kind of the perfection of the series. Jason, obviously, everybody has a favorite Jason, but very few people like the first one best. I don't know. This one, maybe they could still make a classic, not in Dave's opinion, but I think that the first one was the classic for them, kind of just like the Saw movies where it was that clever idea that really put everybody kind of in the moment for the movie and made it the zeitgeist.
Just to touch briefly on what you were saying about some of the things that they mentioned in the other movie that they didn't touch on in this. I think there's a very good reason for that. I think there actually is going to be a fourth movie.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that they could do another prequel.
Well, I think they can, and we'll talk about that in the spoilery section.
Also, why the fuck, if these girls, when they were young, had the cameras around and knew what happened, why the fuck would they be cool with it when they're older? Oh yeah, sure, man.
We're going to talk about that in the spoiler section.
I don't even know, man. We will. But,
I have theories on that.
Somebody write that part down. We got to discuss that. I'm going to write it down.
All right, let's get to Ted.
I have to agree with one of the last things that Nick said, that you're not going to be able to replicate the success or the effectiveness of the first Paranormal Activity, because that movie, as everybody knows, really came out of nowhere. I remember when I went to see it, I had heard nothing about it. I had a buddy of mine called me and said, "Hey man, let's go check out this new ghost movie, Paranormal Activity." I was just like, yeah, whatever. And it really freaked me out. I know it's kind of a divisive movie, because I know people who have been like, "Dude, that movie's boring as shit." But it really, really scared me, not like a movie has done in a long, long time. That said, obviously, I was super jazzed for part two, and went in, and I hated part two. Didn't hate it. I thought it was very, 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 very weak. And so that's why I'm happy to say that I thought the third one was very, very entertaining, and it really, really bounced back. I really liked the prequel idea as opposed to doing a sequel picking up at the end of the second one, especially since they went so far back in time, and they used different actors and child actors, which are always more interesting to watch just because it's something different. There's certain sort of unavoidable issues, knowing obviously since it is a prequel, nothing really bad can happen to certain characters since they show up later. It certainly went off in a crazy new direction at the end that I wasn't really expecting, given the fact that I thought I knew what was going to happen, or we know what's going to happen in the first two films. But I just think I thought it was really, really good. The jump scares were there, but I think there was better characterization, and there were better there were better performances, and I felt more drawn to the characters than I did in the second one. So I enjoyed it. So let's segue into Jack. What did you think?
I agree with you, Ted.
Hey.
I agree that part 3 is definitely better than the second one. I did like how they tied the second one into the first one, where it was a bit of a prequel to the first one and also a sequel to the first one. I thought that was handled really well, rather than just be a direct, sequel. This movie, though, I had a good time with it. I didn't watch any real trailers for the movie beforehand because I knew I was going to see it anyway, so why spoil anything before I go see it? But I liked everybody in this movie. As far as acting-wise, I thought everybody did a good job for what they had to do. And I am glad that the Catfish directors stepped up their game because, Mike, unlike you, I thought Catfish was a pile of dung. We'll get to that later in the spoiler territory as well. But I just enjoyed the movie for what it was. It did tie in very nicely to the other two movies, and the girl actors weren't annoying. And also, I think that the scares in this movie did work a lot better than the second one, because it wasn't just quiet for about an hour and change and then shit happened. It actually had some, there were some fake scares, and I thought they were handled well, and it was a lot more funny than I expected it to be. There was a lot of chuckles in the movie too.
The second one only has like one or two big scares. Now that I'm even thinking about it, I mean, I just watched it yesterday, but it's got like the one where like, and I mean, you had a year to watch it. You had a year to watch it. The kitchen explodes,
Yeah,
and like otherwise, it's like little things happen that could have been, a misunderstanding, like a fire starts or something falls over twice.
Yeah, well, I think that was an intentional thing because it kind of amps up. If you then think about the first movie, it amps up how that escalates.
Right.
Well, and this movie was 20 minutes shorter than the last one.
Right.
Part 3 versus part 2. I think that they just were like, let's remove the fluff and let's get to it.
Right.
Yeah, that I definitely felt that too.
Yeah, but I mean, altogether, I enjoyed it for what it was. As I said, I had a good time with it. I didn't hate it like Dave did, so I actually don't even want to talk about it myself anymore. I want to get right into the spoiler territory. If anybody's listening right now and they don't want to have this movie spoiled, please track up about 2 hours and then just kidding. No, please
just go to next week.
Yeah, just go to the next one. If you hear us talking about paranormal or activity, we're still talking about the movie. All right. So first, I want to get to Dave and why Dave did not like it before we get into the other spoilers. But go ahead, Dave.
All right. The big problem I have is the not the ending so much, but how they went about the ending. The whole Coven of Witches thing, that fucking took me right out of it. I was sold the whole way. Guy walks up to a fucking back house or side house or whatever, and there's a Coven of Witches in there, and like that's the whole reason that like all this shit is happening. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? That's it. Like, they didn't have to explain that. They could have cut that part out, and I would have been fine with what they did. That the grandmother was slightly behind it or anything. But that part, I don't know. I just had this visceral response to it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? This is bullshit. I was like, that is so fucking lazy. It's just like, oh, they made a pact with demons or something like that, and it's going to take the firstborn son, and like I get that, I get all that stuff, but the whole just bringing in this whole Coven of Witches and the whole symbol thing, like, oh, the symbol's behind the painting that Toby etched into the closet and everything, just that stuff. It just felt like it took the film into a different territory, away from it tried to explain the paranormal things, and they didn't need to explain it. Like, if the grandmother had been behind it slightly or with it, that's fine. I'm fine with it the way it is. All they have to do is literally cut that minute from the film, and it's fine. It's a good film in my opinion, but that just really pissed me off.
It does hurt it in some ways. Just what you're saying about it. You're talking about the paranormal. The paranormal is like what we see on Taps or something, or whatever show Taps is. Is that the name of the crew?
Ghost Hunters.
Ghost Hunters. Like what if that YouTube video somebody was trying to make went horribly fucking wrong and you found a real demon? That is kind of the theme of Paranormal Activity, and then that's kind of overwritten by this. At the same time, though, my inner horror geek liked the ending because I was like the Witch's Coven thing. They didn't look like witches like you'd think. They reminded me of like 1970s Hammer horror stuff.
Yeah, I thought they were like Satanists.
I thought, that's what I was thinking too, or like the Brides of Dracula or something like that. Yeah.
And something like that kind of pulled me in a little bit, but I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I know they have to make Paranormal 4, but I'm kind of wondering how they're going to make Paranormal 4 a found footage now that they've introduced like a coven of witches.
Yeah, exactly. Like if unless it's handled like a documentary. But Mike, that kind of is a good thing you brought that up. I want to get to Mike's spoiler-heavy explanation about that. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I'm relatively certain there's going to be a part 4 just because of the fact that it made money. So definitely.
Well, there's still enough, open. What do you call it?
Exactly. Because that's what I was thinking of too. I'm like, well, wait a minute, because they said their house burned down when they were little girls. That's not in the movie, so that's got to happen at some point.
That's in the trailer.
They said it happened in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah, I know. So I think that's one of the reasons they cut that part out of the trailer.
Which means they probably shot part 4 already, but go ahead.
Yeah, or that's a possibility too. They said that, I can't remember which one it is. It might have been the first movie. She said something about her mom did a bad thing. Or mommy was really sad.
No, that was Chris Isaac with Baby Did a Bad Thing.
No, they said that mom was really sad for a long time, and you didn't talk for months.
Right
after it all happened,
you were always scared. And,
so I think there's going to be a level of brainwashing, like they're going to forget it because it was so.
Yeah, but that's the laziness that Dave is talking about. That's at the end of episode 3 when they're like, have these droids' minds wiped. It's that type of laziness where it's like that.
But unless they can do it effectively.
Yeah, if they like put a curse on the girls to not remember or something like that, then.
But then again, it also explained to me what was going on. So, like, why the boy was so important in part 2.
Yeah.
So, like, I liked it. I thought it tied together some of the things I was wondering about. But then I started watching and saying, okay, they're setting me up for something else. Exactly. So the way it ends, I was like, shit, now we're going to have part 4,
And see, I just want to mention something real quick, Nick. Yeah. To the listeners, if you hear us mention the word Toby, because I don't think it was brought up during our reviews, Toby is the demon that is haunting the family. But go ahead, Nick, sorry.
Well, I watched this one second. This one is an excellent follow-up to the first movie,
Yeah, definitely.
Because it follows it much more clearly than the second one does. Because the second one, acting as the third act, like they should have switched these two fucking movies. I mean, the second one, acting as the third act, makes so much more sense in some regards. I don't know. I mean, Jack, you were the one who had pointed out to me that it was kind of like the third act.
Yeah, it is. And I think the reason that they did that with part 2 is everybody was very high on Mika and Katie in the first one, that if they weren't in the second one, then people would have tuned out. Like if the second one were about 2 little girls, it wouldn't have done as well. So that's why I think they had part 2 come out when it did, because I mean, and if you think about it, if part 2 were actually part 3, everybody would be shitting on this series even more so right now.
Yes, they would.
And that would be the end of the series. Like that's it. That's
yeah. I actually kind of like I like the order. I'm fine with it. It works for me in some ways. Mm-hmm. The only thing I haven't liked so far. All right, so part 1, they tell you, here's what happened. We found this footage. They were taping everything that was going on in their house. Okay. Then part 2, they're like, oh wait, no, we found more footage.
Yeah, that's
of her
one thing-
sister's house.
That's one of the things that really bothered me too, Mike. Like they were like, "Oh, I don't remember any of this." They even say that. One of the girls says that. I don't remember any of this. When did who recorded this?
Right. Well, that was that was at the beginning of part 3.
It's the beginning of part 3.
That's fine.
Beginning of part 3. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with that because that made sense to me. Like, oh look, we found these tapes. It would be cool if they watched the tapes. Mm-hmm. Presumably, they just set them aside, and then whoever found their dead bodies found.
No, because you remember they showed the scene where the house is trashed in the second one, and he says,
"Oh, that's right."
And they add this extra shot, and he's like, "Oh, the only thing they took was the tapes."
The tapes are missing.
I felt that was a little convenient.
Yeah, there were a few moments like that where there's these sudden moments of exposition because we don't have another way of setting this next thing we're going to do up. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do this. But back to the trailer, there were 2 scenes from the trailer that I thought should have stayed in the movie.
Well, let me go over real quick. There's a list of 5 that I found on Yahoo, actually.
Okay.
The 5 of them are there's where they play Bloody Mary at the end of the trailer. And then there's the shadow in the mirror, right? Mm-hmm. There's the knocking game where they knock on the closet and then it knocks back and they're like, "Show us how to do the trick." And she's like, "It's not a trick, it's Toby," you know?
Right.
There's when she's painting in the room and she goes, "He's standing right next to you," and she throws the water at him and then everything goes crazy in the bedroom. There's also the man in the glasses, the psychic who comes to the house and is like, "This has to do with your side of the family," and then his head starts smashing into the table. And the last thing that they have on this list is "We're getting out of here," where the mother's scared in the dark and then suddenly like acts like she gets like electrocuted or something and flies back into the bedroom. And there also the fire was another one that we had noticed right before we started recording. We were talking about that, and
You also forgot the part where she jumps off the stairs and then she's fine. Like that whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whatever's supposed to be happening on there. Sorry for cutting you off there, Mike. But I just want to go over. Like, there's a lot of stuff that seems like they had cut.
The 2 that I thought should have stayed in, for me, were the Bloody Mary with the 2 girls. I thought that was probably more effective than having the older camera guy do it. Somehow. And then number 2 was the scene with the water, because when she throws the water for a split second, you see the shape, and I thought that was an effective shot too. Mm-hmm. Like, because obviously they spend a long time saying, "All right, it's all in your head, you know, there's nobody there, blah blah blah." Right. I thought that would have been a great way to amp it up and then go higher from there.
Sort of, but I mean, I think that it would go back to Dave's point then that's like taking it out of the context of it being paranormal, where when you're a little kid and you're seeing ghosts and monsters, everybody goes, "Oh, it's your imagination," you know, and it can be explained away, and then that would be kind of crossing that line that maybe they shouldn't have come so close to in this third movie. Also, I kind of like that scene where she throws the water in the trailer, but she doesn't in the movie because I was expecting it. And some of the stuff in the trailer, I was expecting. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be that scare."
Yeah, and that threw me off because then I'm like, "Well, why the fuck would you cut that out?" Like, I really liked that scene, and
I felt like they were kind of tricking us. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't really like it.
Yeah, in a way, I guess they were, but
is it cool to talk about the trailers again in a little bit?
Sure.
Because I know Nick, you have a couple of theories, and I want to get to them. I want to mention one of the shots in this I really liked. I thought it was the best shot of the movie, was the oscillating fan camera.
Oh, yeah, that's the part I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead. You can bring it up since you did want to talk about that.
Well, I mean, if it's the same thing, when have you ever seen in a movie a Charlie Brown sheet ghost actually be scary?
Exactly,
Oh,
yes.
shit. That was a good scene.
Hell yeah.
That was good.
That was a great scene.
I thought you were going to go with the kitchen one.
Yeah,
right.
Where the Charlie Brown ghost is in the kitchen, and then
No. The other one where when she walks out of the room.
Oh, and then she comes back.
And then she comes back, and all the
everything's
shit's
gone
on the
in the
ceiling.
kitchen.
Yep.
Now that I wanted to bring. I'm glad you brought that up, Mike, because that kind of bothered me in part 2 as well, because it was kind of I mean, I liked it. I thought it was cool, except it kind of copied what part 2 did in a different way. But here's the thing: how come the demon Toby or whatever entity is in the others, how come he can't grab the camera?
Well, he could.
He can
Because
grab
it's not-
all
it's not
these other
corporeal.
inanimate objects, but not
probably-
the camera that's recording everything. And I
could.
find that kind of hokey. That's the only
don't know why-
thing that really bothers me about all
Maybe
these
Toby
movies.
doesn't understand the camera.
Well, I mean, but does he understand
Suspension?
Blender? I mean,
Suspension of disbelief.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm able to do that. It just
Yeah, it's a
I
bit
know.
wonky.
yeah, but go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to cut anybody off.
No, but I thought that was more effective than in the second movie when they did the very similar thing. In the second movie, it was like, well, wait a minute, I just saw that in The Sixth Sense.
Right.
And by the way, I saw it done better. And then, but I thought the everything on the ceiling thing was more effective because when she walked back in the room, I was like, well, what the fuck's going on? And then everything dropped and I was like,
Right.
okay, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
it didn't give me goosebumps in the second movie. It gave me goosebumps in the third.
Yep. And the jump scare from the closet when she was dressed in that mask, I literally nearly shit myself. And I mean, jump scares like that they're in every horror movie and they always get you, but you're just like, that was kind of lame. That one actually scared the living shit out of me. And
That was well played.
yeah, that was really good, and it was cool. It tied into her character where she was like, this is all a bunch of shit, and she's making fun of them, which is great. But
And it was a nice tension reliever for a minute, too.
exactly.
I actually kind of wish that had happened a little bit later in the film
Right. Yeah. Well.
when more stuff had actually happened. So, because at that point, it wasn't the father, the boyfriend,
Right.
or whatever, he hadn't fully bought in yet. Like, to me, at least, he was just kind of like, well, let's see what happens. I think if you'd gone it later on when he'd fully bought in, but she was still like, now this is all horse shit, I think it would have been slightly more effective.
Yeah, and plus you would have been like, let's get the fuck out of this house right fucking now.
Exactly.
Exactly. Ted, did you have anything spoilery you wanted to talk about?
What did I have that wanted to be spoilery?
Okay.
No, not really. I think
Let's look at, like-
everybody's hitting on pretty much similar points. I mean, I didn't have a problem with the sort of the Coven of Witches thing. I mean, the way that went in the end was like absolutely not the way I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to end on the same type of, someone's body gets thrown, against the camera, and then, the girls walk off, and then there's going to be another little line of, something or other at the end, like, oh, so and so found the bodies, blah blah blah.
Right.
And so, I mean, when Dennis was going through the house with the camera, and he can't find anybody, and he's going outside and everything's silent, and then he goes into the garage or whatever it was, and he flips the light on. I mean, the last thing that I personally suspected to see was just creepy ass group of old people.
Oh, yeah, that got
just staring at him. And that was hands down the scariest thing in the movie for me. And I didn't have a problem with that. I thought that was kind of refreshing just because it's absolutely not what I was expecting it to do.
Yeah, like at the time, I think it was a very effective scare, and I enjoyed watching it. Like I said, the almost how they were almost dressed like it was a period piece, I liked. But then I did start to think about the implications for the series itself, because we're all going to be sitting here talking about Paranormal 4 next year, for episode 50 or whatever.
Right.
So it's in our future. How much are we going to be fucking tortured by this shit? Just like they killed Jigsaw in the third movie.
Well,
And
yeah.
in Saw. So, and then we look back at it like after 7, we're like, Jesus Christ, he's been dead for 5 years,
Yeah.
How who's to say 4 years from now we're not going to be like, oh my God, oh, those stupid witches, you know what I mean?
Right.
We'll be like that the fucking commercial. Stop the insanity.
Because really, it's like it deviated from its main theme. And it was cool, but it would be cool if it just fucking ended there. Like, instead, it's going to go on and on and on off of this. And sooner or later, we're going to be like, this isn't even paranormal anymore. This is just fucking weird,
Yeah.
and that's
don't know.
that's where it's kind of going to be lost.
I feel like there's legitimately one more movie.
Yeah.
And if it goes beyond that, then I think they've completely lost their fucking shit.
Yep. They shit the bed.
We'll see, man. Normally, the fourth in a series is the one where shit starts to they nuke the fridge.
Yeah.
A couple of things. I mean, I sort of want to talk about the almost complete ending. When certain people are killed. I mean, is it cool to bring that up?
Do you mean in 2?
Yeah, the 2 people that are killed.
In 3.
I'm sorry?
In 3?
In part 3, yeah.
The 2 people that are killed
in part
3.
In part 3, yeah. The one kill.
Who was the second one?
The first one is the mom.
It's the mother and Dennis.
And then
both.
Dennis, yeah. Now, when
Did
Dennis is
the
killed,
mom die?
Is Toby? Do you think Jason Voorhees from Jason Lives? Because he bends him backwards, just like he does the sheriff.
Freddy
in part
versus
6.
Jason. Yeah.
No, in Jason Part 6 or in
Part
6 when he.
That is one of my favorite kills of all time.
Yeah,
when he bends that sheriff in half.
And that's exactly the same exact kill.
I'd love to see a UFC match end that way. Brock Lesnar just bends a guy in half.
Finish him.
But
fatality.
I thought that was pretty cool, though, the way they shot that.
I must have blinked my eyes at some minute. Seriously, when did the mom die?
When she was at the top of the stairs, and you see her feet.
Stairs, yeah.
She's
she was getting like dangled.
Now I remember.
Choked.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Now, these movies, they keep going, right? And like, there's plot holes popping up here and there. And like we said, what's going on now? Like, they didn't ever mention their mom dying suddenly and being raised by grandma. You know?
Right.
And like I said before, why aren't they bothered by the cameras later in life? Wouldn't they be like, you know what? My mom was killed on camera, actually. This is kind of weird for me.
Yeah, it's going to be... I'm hoping they can tie it together somehow, but it's...
Did they not say something though? I could be completely misremembering this. When Dennis was talking to the mom in the garage at one point when he's trying to explain, oh, this is the symbol, blah blah blah. Did he not say that, like, oh, they take the girls who are of childbearing age and then blah 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 and then erase their memories so they don't remember it?
Did he say that?
Yeah, he says something along that lines. But neither of those girls is of childbearing age.
Well, I mean, that is...
So you think that they create the memories later on, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Later on, they erase their memories, for lack of a better term.
I guess, yeah. And then crazy grandma can be like, oh, yeah, your mother was sad all the time. And, I mean, who knows?
Because they kind of intimated a little bit that maybe the mom killed herself, which would tie into the mom kind of hanging there at the end.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Can I bring something in? This is like everything you guys are discussing is telling me about why I have such a strong reaction to this. It's because they added human intervention to it, to a paranormal film. The fact that they have some degree of control over this paranormal entity, essentially, that they have some control over Toby. They have some sort of deal with him or whatever. Just the fact that they have that they can control him or get him to do certain things if they do certain things for him. I don't like that. I like the fact that, like in the second one, they sort of briefly explain, oh, maybe your grandmother made a deal with a demon and it's for the firstborn son. Like, I like that because it's like, well, that's probably a deal that they got the bad end of that deal because it's not going to work out in their favor. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I like the fact that probably in my mind when I saw the second one that, oh, the grandma probably got like fucked up by this demon who totally turned on her and still is going to take the firstborn son in the family. Mm-hmm. Not that, oh, she made a deal with the demon and, it's going to basically just haunt the whole family, but they have they're all hunky-dory. They're friends. So I don't know. Just the human intervention thing, that's what fucking pisses me off.
There was one other thing that somebody else pointed out to me that I didn't necessarily... I guess I didn't pay any attention at the time, but in the second movie, I think it was, the mom kept telling well, I guess it was the grandmom kept saying, but I thought you said you wanted more kids. Don't you want to keep having to go until you have a boy?
Oh, I guess that's a nice touch.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that was, and like I was like, oh shit, you know?
That didn't even occur to me till you just said that. But yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
So-
when this comes out on DVD, I mean, I'm obviously gonna get it, and then I'm gonna do, what Nick and I were talking about earlier is watch it in the sequence of part. Well, I guess it would
3,
make
2,
more
1.
sense to watch it part 3 first, then watch part 1, then 2, or part 3,
I don't
then
know.
2, then 1, maybe.
3,
Yeah,
4, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah,
3, 4, 2, 1.
and maybe part 0.
Oh yeah, 3, 4, 2, 1.
And I guess we should wrap this up soon. Let's just bring up the. I just wanted to bring up the trailer thing. Nick, you said you had a couple theories of why they were different.
Yeah, two theories. My one, I said that I think that they were trying to trick us because there's a lot of horror movies where all the scares are right in the fucking trailer, and then there's nothing when you watch a trailer, which I'm going to get to in a little bit with Grave Encounters. But the other reason is the same thing that happens with video games, and this is why, because I'm a big gamer. I go right to games. With a video game, you'll have day one downloadable content. So you'll buy the game for $60, and then they'll want you to buy they'll want you to download like a new gun or something like that in addition to the $60 they already got out of you. In this case, we all paid $10 to go see it at the theater, or $20, whatever the fuck it costs these days. Now they want you to buy the Blu-ray. They want you to buy the Blu-ray so you see what happened in those other scenes. Because those other scenes, from what we saw in the trailer, seem to even explain a little bit more of the plot.
Right.
And I think it's to get you to buy more. And I mean, it might not be. It might just be because they wanted to shoot several things, and this worked, that worked, and they took a hodgepodge. But I think it's a marketing technique. I don't really think that there's a whole lot of substance to this movie to begin with. And I mean, I enjoy it, but I think that these movies are made to make money.
Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, the first one was sat on the shelf for at least, I believe, about a year or two. Because I heard about it when it hit. I'm trying to remember what. I think it was South by Southwest, and it just sat around like nobody. I mean, DreamWorks bought it, but they didn't do anything with it. But I mean, my theory about the trailer it ties into the directors, the Catfish directors. If you recall, the Catfish trailer made it look like a horror movie, and when I went to see Catfish, I was intrigued for the first half of the movie. And I thought they did a really good job as far as splicing the scenes together, parts together. But then it took a total nosedive and crashed and burned because the trailer. Mike, have you seen the trailer for? Did you see the trailer before?
I had seen the trailer, and I was excited because I was like, "Oh shit, this looks like a seriously cool horror film." But I was warned before I watched it that it wasn't a horror film.
As was I. And the thing is, though, that I thought the movie itself, tonal-wise and just cutting-wise, the first half was great. After that, it kind of got boring and stupid.
Yeah, I found it fascinating at that point.
Really? Yeah. But I mean, I don't want to talk about Catfish, but I just want to say that I think the filmmakers, they tapped them and they said, because when Catfish was made, I'm sure the studio had something to do with that trailer. It wasn't the filmmakers.
Right.
Where they marketed it as a horror movie. And people would go in droves and don't tell anybody what it is,
Right.
And I feel that they kind of are jumping on what they did with Catfish, where they made that look like a horror movie, and what they're doing this time is showing you shit that doesn't exist in the movie. I think the cool thing about that, though, Nick and everybody, I think it's cool to not show you scenes that don't exist in the movie, and then when you go see it, you see something totally different. Because how many times do we complain that trailers give away too much? Look at Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Right.
Imagine if Tucker and Dale versus Evil, all the scenes that you saw in that trailer weren't in the movie, and you get a totally different movie, but it's still as funny and it has that kind of style and stuff that's in it.
Right, and I felt like the bait and switch was there to entertain us a little, to like keep
Exactly.
us on our toes,
Yeah.
to give us that scare when we weren't expecting it, and then where we were expecting the scare, it's not there.
Exactly.
It kept it unpredictable, so I really didn't mind, but I still feel like, well, I mean, that's my first theory is that it was supposed to be unpredictable. This is what it's for. So whatever.
All right, well, let's get to. I just want to get to grades, and then we're going to take a brief moment, and then go into grave encounters. Let's go to Ted. What do you give it, sir?
I'm gonna give it an A minus. You know what? Scratch that. I'm gonna give it an A. I'll give it a solid A. I was really entertained by it, especially the fact that I went in with slightly lower expectations, just because my expectations were lowered by the second one, and it really bounced back, and it was a great entry in the series. So I give it an A.
All right, Nick.
I'm going to give you the bonus of giving you my grades for all three. All right. First one gets a solid A from me. The second one, I'm going to give like a B, straight B. And then this one, I'm going to give a B plus. I think they'd all be a little bit higher if there was ever a reason to replay them. But like, really, you're kind of only going to watch it once.
Right.
That actually ties in very, very well with something that I was going to say later.
Nice.
Dave.
I'm gonna give it a B minus.
Wow.
It would be lower if I know I had. It is a technically solid film. The acting's great. Cinematography's great. Sound design is great. Production design. It's all awesome stuff. I'm gonna keep it a little lower. Just to, because of that whole plot twist at the end and everything.
Okay. Mike.
I'm going to give it a B, maybe B plus. I have a few little minor issues with it, but it wasn't enough for me to not enjoy it.
All right.
Jack.
I'm going to give it an A minus. The minor issues really didn't bother me too much, and I think it's a good movie. I think you should definitely see it if you have seen the first two, for sure. All right. So that wraps us up for Paranormal Activity 3. Mike, do you have anything to say about our website, if anybody has anything to say?
I sure do. We actually kind of want to hear what you guys have to say, as Nick is furiously trying to get people to respond. So send us something. Hop up on slashercast.net and leave a comment for us, or send us an email if you're a little shyer, contact@slashercast.net, or you can hit us up on Twitter @slasher_cast.
And also our Facebook fan page.
Oh, yes, our Facebook fan page.
Yeah, and if you guys really don't like this movie and you think we're all completely wrong, except for Dave, feel free to...
Time will tell.
Exactly, yeah. I think you're right, Dave. I think down the line, I was treading between a B and an A, so, that's why I had to go that route. All right, so, let's go into Grave Encounters. Hey everybody, welcome back to Slashcast. We are now going to do a review of Grave Encounters. Here's a quick plot synopsis done by me. Grave Encounters is about a crew from a reality show called Grave Encounters, which is like a ghost hunter show, if you will. They shoot an episode at Collingswood Psychiatric Hospital and vanish, leaving their equipment and tapes on the premises. The film is the footage from the tapes that was left by the vanished crew. On the footage, laughs happen, shit happens, scare happens, and there's some paranormal activity. The film stars Sean Rogerson of Harper's Island fame, who is the leader of the crew. The film is the directorial debut from the Vicious Brothers of the Vicious Brothers fame. This is their very first movie, written, produced, and directed. And we are going to go to Dave first.
All right. I guess I'm going to sound like an asshole because I hated Paranormal Activity 3 so much that I really enjoyed this film. So I really enjoyed that the film kind of has this slow descent into madness. I would say that the descent into madness is better than Blair Witch at times. I'm not saying it's a better film than Blair Witch. I'm saying the descent into madness is better than Blair Witch. I like that the ghosts or demons in the film kind of run, from like kind of Paranormal Activity kind of scares to like almost like an infection zombie movie kind of scare at times. I think it seems like what the Vicious Brothers have done with this film is they've taken their favorite parts of found footage horror and they've kind of put their own little twist on it. And if I was going to say what I didn't like about it, I felt that, again, kind of with, I think it's the flaw of many found footage films. You start explaining the backstory too much and you fucking, you fuck yourself in the ass. So that's it. Because, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick.
Okay. I kind of like this movie. I don't think it was bad. I liked it. It had some good scares in it, and it was kind of funny at times. It used the found footage technique in a new and interesting way, where it was like Ghost Hunters episode gone completely out of control for days and days. I loved how it seemed like they went into another darker world, like Silent Hill, the video games, not that fucking movie.
Oof.
But
Ted.
the movie.
No wolf.
Can I say Roger Avery can go fuck himself?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay, Roger Avery can go fuck himself.
Thank you. Now I don't have to. The movie itself, this one, not Silent Hill, Grave Encounters, runs out of steam as it goes on. Because like in found footage movies, the last scare is always going to be the biggest one right before the camera cuts out or whatever. But in this one, it feels like it's building up to a climax, and then nothing happens. And then it kind of does, but it's still not over, and there's still another 20 minutes, and then it over and over and over again, And my biggest gripe with this movie, other than that, probably my biggest gripe overall, some of the biggest scares are in the trailer. And we can go over that in the spoiler part. And it had a really good, effective trailer, and I really I liked it. But sooner or later, people are going to have to understand that by showing us limited, mysterious material in the trailer, we will get jacked for your movie. You don't have to give it all to me right away.
Just like Cloverfield.
Yeah.
But overall,
Yeah.
I think there was stuff in Cloverfield that wasn't in the trailer.
No, I'm saying the original.
That's what he's saying. Like Cloverfield gave you enough of a taste that you were like, holy shit, I have to see this.
Right.
Yes.
They didn't
Okay.
show you the monster in the trailer.
Right.
Either way, I feel like they had a good understanding of horror in general, so I'd like to see more from the Vicious Brothers. But for now, not the greatest, but not the worst.
All right. Mike?
I thoroughly enjoyed the vast majority of the film. It's very rare for me to find a film that really unsettles me enough to where I get scared is kind of hard to say, but there were a couple points where I paused it just to take a deep breath and keep going with it. I found that there were some really chill-inducing moments. I thought the atmosphere of it was perfect. That's something we've brought up a couple times on the podcast. Atmosphere. I liked that they were able to take this premise of being locked in for 6 hours and do something a little bit different with that. I have one thing that kind of almost ruined the entire movie for me, but we'll talk about that when we get to the spoiler part. But other than that, I want to see what these guys can do. I can't wait to see their next movie.
All right. Ted?
I agree. I loved this movie. I was lucky enough to see it at Tribeca earlier this year, and I just watched it again a couple nights ago, and it's great. For me, it was a cross between two great horror movies. Obviously, the first one being Blair Witch Project, and the other one being Session 9, which is a criminally underrated horror movie, I think, for anybody that hasn't seen that movie, mainly because that's another scary one that takes place in an old insane asylum. But it was the perfect setting. I mean, everything, it made sense, like why these people were here. It made sense why they were, locked in, why they couldn't get out. And so it was like they saw these sort of, potential objections like, well, why the fuck don't these people just leave? And they sort of made it, well, no, they're locked in because they're a TV crew and blah, blah, blah. There weren't a lot of surprises. I mean, there wasn't like, oh, gee, I wonder if this place really is haunted. But I think they handled things pretty well. I didn't think there was anybody in the movie really that did anything that was overtly, horror movie stupid. I thought the special effects where they were great for what I'm sure was a pretty low budget. My only complaints, and they're pretty minor. I thought that the end could have wrapped up a little bit quicker. I didn't have a problem with the way that it actually ended, but they could have tracked back probably about 8 or 10 minutes, and just probably clipped it, and it would have ended better. And there was one character of the overacting profane cameraman that just got on my nerves to no end. But
it's the cameraman, isn't it?
It is. It always seems to be the cameraman. I don't know why. Yeah. But no. Other than that, I thought this is a great found footage movie, great ghost movie, great horror movie. I loved it.
All right. I'm definitely in Ted's camp. I've actually this is the second time watching this movie. When I initially saw it, I was in Mike's camp. And upon watching it a second time, I thoroughly enjoyed it way more the second time. And I didn't mind the part that we'll talk about in the plot or the spoiler section. But yeah, altogether, I thought it had terrific atmosphere. It felt like a really good haunted house movie. Even though it's an insane asylum, it just felt like a haunted attraction in a way. We'll get to that in the spoiler section as well, as to why I feel that way. But I think the cast did a really good job. I especially liked the lead actor, Sean Rogerson. As I said, he was in Harper's Island, which is a fantastic show. If you're a slasher fan, I highly recommend you check that out. And I think the Vicious Brothers did a tremendous job with what they had to work with. And I think this is actually better than Paranormal Activity 3, in my opinion. Sorry to show my hand there, but
I would actually tend to agree with you on that.
I would agree with you too.
Yeah, I think that the coolest thing about this, and this really isn't giving away too much, is how they kind of call the Ghost Hunter show. They call their bluff.
Yeah, they called the bullshit on it with the gardener.
Yeah, which is so great. Because when I was watching this movie and when that guy, Houston Gray comes into it, I'm like, oh no, they're not going this route. And I thought they were like really serious. And then right after they cut and they start giggling, I'm like, I am sold. I just absolutely fell in love with these people. And we'll get into it in a little bit, but yeah, I truly think this is a great movie. But I do say this with reservations. Some people may not, if I say this movie's great, you may not like it. I mean, it is one of these types of movies where you're either completely in or you're somewhat in, and then you go, it kind of falls apart. So I just want to open it up now. We are going to get into spoiler territory, and if you don't want to know anything that happens, in the movie, just go ahead and skip forward. If you hear anything about encounters or grave or anything like that, feel free to skip forward. All right, so guys, hit me with it. Let's go.
Well, I think this movie was clever, but I don't know how you could think it was great. Like, greater than what? What are you putting this on a scale of?
On a scale of? Between what? You what kind of scale you want me to give you? Like a 1 to
Between
10?
movies.
Should be a found footage scale, so.
A found footage scale. Oh,
like better than, but worse than.
I would say it's better than Paranormal Activity 3, not Activity 1. but I'm not going to say that there's movies, but there's another pair of movies that I put way above all these, but I'm not going to give them away.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I think we all know what those are.
Yeah, but yeah, I it's just like I said, the first time I watched this movie, I was just I was kind of, the ending kind of pissed me off. Like, I was like, really? That's what you guys have? Like, really? But upon watching it a second time, I actually fell in love with the characters even more. Even the annoying guy. Like, I didn't mind him. I thought everybody did a great job. And the one thing that everybody would go to, actually, let me track back a second. Like you mentioned, Nick, with Silent Hill, right? How this kind of felt like a better version of Silent Hill. I actually think it's a better version of the remake of House on Haunted Hill.
I felt the same way.
Yeah,
It's exactly how the House on Haunted Hill should have been done. But
a little bit more subtle.
A little bit more subtle, exactly. And it didn't have to go overboard with all this weird shit with like a carousel of going crazy with some weird-ass glasses and Chris Kattan.
But there was enough weird shit that you were like, wow, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and the we'll get to that, I'm sure. But the thing with the black hands...
Oh,
that's where I felt like it was a haunted attraction. I was like, this is so fucking cool. I love this movie.
I was like, reminded of Labyrinth at that point.
Yes.
That was out of nowhere, completely, like you weren't expecting that at all.
Exactly.
Whereas now you see the scares go from that good to like, the scare that I said is in all the fucking trailers,
right,
of the girl turning around, the one mental patient that they find who turns around and like her mouth goes crazy. Okay. Then you see it in the movie, and it's the second time you're seeing it, and you realize it kind of looks like they just photoshopped her mouth.
Right, and you know what? I mean, the CGI in it was kind of crappy, but I mean, you have to look at the budget constraints. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
So that's kind of what I didn't want to shit upon that, because you know what? I mean, these guys did a low budget movie, you know, and I think they handled it really fucking well for what they had to do. You know?
Well, but they used the same scare again at the end of the movie with the doctor.
Right.
That he's just standing there, and then they Photoshop his face, and it doesn't. It's not effective, is what I'm saying.
It's not as effective. No.
It looks goofy at that point.
Speaking of the end,
yes,
go ahead, Mike.
Near the end, I was totally into this movie. Like I was tensed up watching it. Like what's going on to happen next? And there's one teeny tiny scene in the movie that almost wrecked the whole fucking thing for me. And it's right past the scene when he goes by the doctor. I was still in. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Then he goes into a room, and there's like a Necronomicon type book. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is where we're going with this? Satanism? That's the same thing that Dave had on Paranormal Activity, but in this movie, it really threw me off. And I was like, all right, if this is where this is going, I'm going to be fucking pissed off. And then they just completely ignored it and went on with the movie. And I was happy again. But it came... I almost turned the fucking thing off because I was so pissed off when you got to that part.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, it actually did take me out of the movie a little. I think that whole part where they find like the dungeon, you know, and it's got like, you know, the medical equipment, but the brick walls and stuff. I don't know. I think that was when they were kind of like, how are we gonna end this?
I was like, are we heading into like, did they do like hostile type things down there? Like, you know, you start thinking, every time you start seeing dungeons, you start thinking like that now. But I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. Like, now we're going to find out what really happened at this place, you know, and then they didn't do that either.
No.
But that one scene, I seriously got so, it immediately took all the scare out of me. And for the rest of the movie, I was like, all right. That's great. You know? I don't know. Maybe if I watch it again, I can ignore that part, but it so snapped me out of the film that it almost completely lost me.
And you know what? That's the same exact moment that the first time I saw it, it did the same for me, but the second time, I didn't even care. I really didn't. I guess.
So that's a secret.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's a repeat view. That
Or maybe because you know it doesn't go in that direction.
Right. I mean, yeah,
maybe that's it too.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like. I started to lose interest when he was eating the rat.
Dude,
You know?
that is exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
Right. When I saw the thing about the rat, and when I was like, what? Where are they going with this? Like what?
Yeah. Like actually starting at the part where the girl fades away into the smoke.
Yep.
I was like, how much longer is this fucking movie gonna get? Like,
Right.
I feel like they kind of didn't like. It really loses direction more than anything. And then like just to end up at that point where like you could have cut out like 10 or 15 minutes in the middle between eating the rat and the ending where he's looking in the camera going, he says I'm okay now,
Right.
You could have gone from that scene where the girl disappears to him like waking up, freaking out.
Well,
The doctor is there with his hammer, boom, and then the next scene is him all fucked up.
Well, I think they were. If you guys remember the time when they were looking at their phone, and it was still 1 p.m. I think what had happened was they were trapped in there for a very, very long time,
Right.
Yeah, like a couple of days or something.
or maybe even longer.
Longer because the food went rotten really
exactly,
fast.
yeah, and that's why the lead character ate the rat. Like that's
right.
Like that was his last resort.
I didn't have a problem with him eating the rat
Right.
so much. Like,
well, I did the first time, but the second time in viewing, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Because I was just the first time when I watch a movie, I normally just turn my brain off. Like even if there's going to be a mystery, I don't try to figure out who the killer is or anything like that. I just watch it and try to absorb and try to have a good time with it.
See,
But go ahead.
well,
Sorry.
I kind of envisioned the end before that. I envisioned him like being found the next day by what was the guy? Keith, the crazy gowns keeper, Kenny.
Yeah.
I envisioned him like coming back in the next day, and like it would still be filmed by the camera, and like they'd find him in the basement, like all crazy out of his mind, and never find the other people, and then it would cut back to the producer. She was at the beginning, and he'd be like, "Yep, that was the last we ever saw of him, and now he's in this other institution to this day." You know what I mean?
Right. That's one
Actually,
thing
that
I
would have
think.
been really cool.
I think they should have went back to the producer at the end.
Yeah, I did
they
think
brought it
that
up
was
in
a
the
missed opportunity.
Or unless maybe they did it and they just they didn't. It didn't
Maybe
work.
it didn't work.
That could've been.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was a missed opportunity. They could have gone back and said, despite what you see in the film, we found no traces of anybody. We searched the entire. There is no dungeon, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like there is no real explanation at the end, and
Right.
it's like, how did he get a hold of the tapes?
Right. It's just presumed that they found them eventually.
Yeah.
But it would be cool, like if he mentioned that we found all the cameras in the middle of the lobby, something like that.
Well, Dave, do you have
All right,
anything?
fuck it. I hate this movie. No.
Dave, do you have anything spoiler you want to talk about as well?
Yeah, the funny thing is I didn't have a problem with the ending as much. I didn't think of it as a Necronomicon specifically, but that would have been awesome if he would have said Klaatu Barada Nikto, but or necktie, whatever it is. But no, I really liked some of the scares in the film. The one that I really liked was the bed going on the ceiling.
Yeah.
That one was really cool. I was just like, yes, that's fucking awesome. And then not the multi hands part was great, but the hand just coming out and grabbing her out of the room.
Door.
That was another awesome moment because that one kind of came out and did make me jump a little bit because most of the time I'm not going to jump, but that one was pretty cool.
Well, why do you dislike the ending in Paranormal more than you dislike it in this one? Is it because you had 3 movies invested already? Like emotionally, you were invested in 3 paranormal movies, whereas this one you were kind of more open-minded because you hadn't been through it, or what?
Well, I saw Grave Encounters literally right before I saw Paranormal Activity 3. I had to watch both the movies earlier today, so I watched it right before. So maybe it kind of like wore me thin at the ending there, and then I watched Paranormal Activity 3, and I was like, no, more fucking shit to explain, and it pissed me off. Maybe that's it. It could have been the investment that I think when I saw the first Paranormal Activity, I had like such a great experience. I had heard about it a little bit. I went to see it in State College, in a bunch of fucking college kids who thought they were going to be tough shit and go through this movie, yet they were fucking shitting themselves by the end of the movie. So maybe that's the reason. It's the investment. There's good memories. Maybe because it's a low budget film, I gave Grave Encounters a little bit more leeway. Maybe because I feel like they tried, they're doing their best. I'm going to give them. They get 2 leaps of faith. Like most regular films for me get 1 major leap of faith.
Okay. Wow. So, how about Ted? What about you?
As far as what, spoilery stuff?
Yeah. What kind of stuff do you want to?
I don't think that I have anything really. I mean, I think I covered everything that is really awesome. I mean, the jump scares that were there were awesome. I basically, I'm going to save some of the stuff that I have to say for just like a generic found footage thing, because I have some stuff that's going to apply for both of these movies.
Okay.
So,
I do say there was one scene that you knew was going to come up. The bathtub scene, when they find the bathtub full of blood. You knew something was going to happen, but I thought the way they did it actually ended up working. More because I was like, all right, somebody's going to pop out of the tub, or somebody's going to get pulled into the tub. But the way it actually went down, I was like, okay, that actually worked for me.
Yeah, that worked for me as well. I did like that scene where they, you don't even see them tipping it over, and then he's just gone.
Right.
Yeah, it was seamless, and I was like, okay, they did that really well.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like was at the end of that part where they flip the tub over and they're like, he's gone.
Yeah,
like it was like a magician's trick.
Yeah, like
like the final countdown.
We have to point it out to you. Like, yeah, I kind of got that he was gone when I didn't see him anymore. But okay, yeah, all right.
But I definitely want to bring up the actors again too, because this is a very hard type of movie to pull off, acting wise. I would say, the reason I am praising that dude Sean Rogerson so much is that from the initial start of this movie, or when, after the producer talks in the beginning, he hooks you right away. Like, sort of like that Cotton dude did in Last Exorcism. He kind of, he hooks you where, he's got that perfect, TV show host voice and just attitude, and he's like all Mr. Cool and suave, and then you see that he's like an actual douchebag later on. And then when shit hits the fan, he's very, like, scared. He's scared, but he's also trying to, still be the group leader. And I think it was really cool. I think he did a freaking amazing job. And I'm actually interested to see him in a lot more movies, too. But go ahead, Nick, you were going to say something.
No, I'm good.
Oh, fine.
I think that he I was impressed by him as well. I thought that that the character was going to be like a lot more one-dimensional, and like you said, I mean, from the times when he was, his on-camera persona, which was, I mean, like spot on to a lot of the people. I mean, if you watch any of the Ghost Hunter shows, was really spot on for that. To when, he was talking to people, and he wasn't like, I never thought like, oh man, this guy's a douchebag or anything like that, but he just seemed real. And then when things started going wrong, he started getting the camera close up to the face, the tears in the eyes, a la Blair Witch Project. But it was just for that character who seems like so kind of macho in the beginning, to see this sort of like breakdown of fear, I thought was really good.
Right. Yeah, I thought so too. Plus, at the beginning, he's kind of like, God, I hate that all we ever do is bullshit, And then he's like, I really want to see something happen. And then when it starts happening, he's kind of like, well, all right, never mind.
Yeah, he's like, nope, forget it.
Can I go back to being bullshit again?
Exactly.
I want to say that just his performance, it's spot on to the guy that's on Paranormal State.
Yep.
I only watched like 2 episodes of that because it was like Penn State related, and I'm like, yeah, it's spot on to that. Like I guarantee he watched a lot of that to get the ideas for his character.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm just very happy about the bullshit they call on those shows. I'm sorry. Like I don't watch those shows myself because I'm not going to get into if we believe in ghosts or not, but I just find them to be bullshit, for the most part. And, there's some creepy shit that happens, I'm sure, but I mean, it's just bullshit to me. But
I think the comedian Chris Hardwick put it best when he said they're the worst at their job, because if you went to a job every day where it was your job to find out something, right, and you failed every single time, you wouldn't be at that job anymore. Like,
Exactly.
So I think that sums up kind of ghost hunters in general. They fail at their job every single time. They're like, well, we didn't really find anything, or did we? So.
All right, I want to get to grades. Is that okay with everyone? Does anybody else have anything to add about it? Okay. All right, let's go to Dave first.
I'm going to give it a B+. I enjoyed it. It's better than Paranormal Activity 3. Save your money and get this film. Support these filmmakers because I think they're going places.
Exactly. The DVD is on Amazon at $12.99. What a bargain.
It's only $5 on Xbox Live to rent.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
What a find!
What a bargain. Nick, grade?
I'm going to give it a B. It's not better than Paranormal Activity 3. It's better than Paranormal Activity 2, but and definitely doesn't even approach Paranormal Activity 1, but it's still really clever and not the best, not the worst. It's worth seeing, though.
All right. Mike?
I am going to give it an A-. It was damn close to getting a D. Probably, ball hair close to a D.
Ball hair.
But luckily, it found its way back, and
the ball hair found its way back.
Found its way back.
Yes.
This is falling apart worse than the end of this movie.
Because most ball hairs you can't pull; they escape.
Jesus Christ, Jeff.
Well,
let's talk about ball hairs for. No. Ted, what did you think? Grade.
Solid A for me. Great variation on the found footage. Took everything great about making a creepy haunted asylum movie and just threw it in there. A lot of fun to watch. So A.
All right.
Don't watch the trailer. Don't watch the trailer.
Yeah, don't watch the trailer.
Yeah, don't watch the trailer.
I think that's becoming my new mantra.
That's what that should be the same with like pretty much all horror. Like if you go in, and comedies for that fact, if you go in blind, you're gonna enjoy the movie a lot more. I mean, and Ted, you did that by seeing it at Tribeca.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I went up to New York. My friend was just like, "Hey, man, I got 2 tickets to Grave Encounters." I was just like, "The fuck is that?" Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's a found footage ghost movie. Oh God, this is gonna suck. And it was amazing. Yeah. By the way, the Vicious Brothers, I don't think will ever be on our show because judging by their Q&A, they're a bunch of pretentious D-bags. But that was just my opinion.
Really? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they were there at the...
Yeah, they did a Q&A, them and a few of the cast members.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I think calling them pretentious D-bags probably doesn't help our odds.
Exactly.
You might as well continue with the catchphrase.
No. That's exactly what I mean. Because I was calling them that.
Oh, I see.
They're not showing up.
All right, well, then I'll say it. Vicious Brothers can go fuck themselves.
Can go fuck themselves.
They can go
viciously.
fuck each other.
Viciously.
Viciously.
Wow, with a cheese grater. I'm going to go with an A as well. I'm in Ted's camp. We are pitching a tent and starting a fire.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Lots of ball hairs.
So many in my soup, I don't even know what to do.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go into our found footage recommendations slash.
It's not even that late either.
No, it isn't. We're doing good. Let's go into the discussion or recommendation / discussion hodgepodge.
All right, now you've heard what we have to say about Grave Encounters. We want to hear what you think. Send us a comment, slashercast.net. Send us an email, contact@slashercast.net. Call us douchebags on Twitter, @slasher_cast. Anything you have to say, anytime. We're open 24/7. Or find us on... Fuck me. God damn it. I have to write down my... Hold on. I have to write it down on the sheet or I'm going to keep forgetting it.
Find us on Fuck Me. If you go to fuckme.com, you'll find Mike smiling and you get to fuck
No.
I turn my camera on. I cut my fingers on the way. On the way. The way I'm slipping away. I turned my feelings on. You made me untouchable for life. Yeah, yeah. And you wasn't right.
Son of a bitch.
All right, welcome. Sorry. All right. Well, welcome back to Slash.
Oh, we're not.
Fuck. All right.
Is this part going to be in the show?
Yes. All right. Welcome back to Slashercast. Mike, do you have something to add to the end of that last thing you had there about our Facebook page, maybe, or is it our fuck me page? Which one is it?
No, I don't.
All right, you can find us on Facebook. All right, and all right.
No, we can't do that.
Yes, we can.
You can face me on Fuckbook. No.
Wait a minute. Yeah, fuck my face on Facebook now.
Fuck my Facebook.
Search for Slashercast on Facebook.
My face page. My fucking
And like
face
our fan page.
All right,
Do it, fuckwads.
All right, welcome back to Slashercast. We are now going to do recommendations of found footage films, and then we're going to throw some questions out to the cast members to start a mini discussion. And after this, we have a little special presentation to give you, since we missed out on some news. All right, we are going to go with Ted's recommendation first. Go ahead, Ted.
All right. This is a bit of a hesitant recommendation just because it's such an extreme movie. It's one that, in fact, we mentioned a couple weeks ago on our extreme horror episode, and it is 1980's Cannibal Holocaust. It is one of the pioneers of the found footage subgenre, even though it's actually only half a found footage movie and half regular narrative. Don't really know what all can be said about Cannibal Holocaust that you probably don't already know. If you aren't familiar with Cannibal Holocaust, I don't know what the fuck you're doing listening to this podcast. But for the uninitiated, just in short, it's about a documentary film crew that goes down to the Amazon to film cannibal tribes, and they stir up a lot of shit, and they don't come back. And an NYU professor goes down there to try and figure out what happened to them and recovers their doesn't find them but finds their documentary footage, brings it back, and the documentary footage makes up the second half of the film, and it is some pretty crazy shit, some stuff that got the filmmakers in some serious hot water when it was first released. But it's a pretty extreme movie. So if you're looking for an early found footage movie and you feel like you're up for it, I guess check out Cannibal Holocaust.
All right. I have a question. Has anybody seen who on the show has not seen Cannibal Holocaust?
I have not.
Really?
I have not.
Really?
Yep.
Step into my office.
Why?
Fired.
Because you're fucking fired. Get the fuck
7
off the show,
minute
fuckers.
abs.
Yes.
Really?
I'm shocked
that Nick hasn't seen
that
it.
Nick hasn't seen it.
I don't know. I know they used to have it in the cult section of the video store near me when I was a kid.
Of course.
And I was just, and I didn't know about it. So I was just like, this movie at the Amazon, whatever, you know? being a dumb teenage kid.
Wow.
Didn't know about it, man. There was no internet.
Well, now you have no excuse.
Internet.
Now you have no excuse.
And Nick, it's not a movie to watch with a group of people. It's a solo watcher.
It is a solo watcher. Yeah, it
Don't
is.
watch it with me.
So it's good to masturbate to? I don't understand.
No.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
No. I'm not trying to say that. No.
Oh.
No, that
Nice.
would be the Little
Fucking hell.
Mermaid. What I'm saying.
The little sperm maid. I hope you mean.
Yes.
That sounds disgusting.
No, it's one of those movies that you kind of feel like shit after you watch it. And if you watch it with a group, it's kind of like watching I Spit on Your Grave with a group of people. You're not going to have a great time together. Like, it's kind of, you feel like shit.
Although that kind of awkwardness is kind of fun.
Yes.
Well, no, because this is not the type of movie where you watch it with a group of people and you have a good old time like watching Human Centipede 2.
Right.
It is far from that. I agree. It's one where you feel bad about
Everything.
humanity
Well,
after you're done watching it.
when I watched the original Last House on the Left the first time, it was with a group of mostly youngish girls. Well, we were all young. I don't want that to sound as bad as it did. I too was
Wait a
young
minute.
at the time.
You're a big Bucky Larson fan, aren't you?
Yeah.
We put them all in my car, in my van.
Yeah.
Rolling down in my basement.
Girls. I got a movie for you to watch. And it got hugely uncomfortable pretty quickly.
I would imagine.
Did you get laid that night?
Well, no, that wasn't happening either way. I mean,
At least he's honest.
yeah. Very honest to a fault, unfortunately. I wish I could make it up and say, oh, yeah, gangbang. But no.
After Last House on the Left, I would not brag about being able to get into a gangbang after that movie.
You'd be with some sick fuckers that would pee on you.
Yeah, seriously.
Man, that was really good. Who wants a golden shower? Me.
The best thing to throw out at the end of that is rape. Hot, right?
Yep.
She had it coming.
Oh, that's right. On Slashercast, we even make fun of rape.
Nothing
All
is
right,
off limits.
Send your emails to Mike@slashercast.net.
Yes, please. All right.
I apologize.
Speaking of rape and Mike, you're next. What's your pick, sir?
I kind of went with the granddaddy of the current craze, the Blair Witch Project. I know, obscure film, probably nobody's seen it. I loved it. Immediately, the first time I watched it, I didn't get sick by the shaky cam. I thought it was well shot. I never bought into it being real, but I really liked what they did, and I thought the ending was absolutely phenomenal. No spoilers here, but I got huge chills, especially since the house I was living in at the time was A, in the woods, and B, had a basement very similar to the ending of the film.
Wait, no spoiler? Like, I'm just going to say I hate the ending. I was fucking laughing my ass off when I saw that the ending.
Yeah, the ending took me out of it totally.
Really? Yeah, I literally, in the theater, this is like opening day with my friend. Everybody's fucking freaked out. We're like laughing halfway through the film. I see him standing in the corner. I'm like, why the fuck is he taking a piss in the corner? I mean, I said it the second the camera went down. I'm like, why was he pissing in the corner? And I said it out loud because I was like, not incredibly loud, but like, I just didn't like it.
When I saw it, I was like, that's it? That was
I thought that was the perfect place to end it.
And I mean, especially when you're recommending it from not 1999, but here in 2011, after we just did Paranormal Activity, where like a dude gets broken in half by unseen hands.
The one guy loses his eyeballs.
And they get a finger in it.
Loses his eyeballs.
I lost mine the other
When
day.
the one guy goes missing, the next day they wake up and they find the bandana with his teeth and eyeballs.
His teeth.
I don't remember anybody losing their eyeballs, but
There was
Yeah,
no eyeballs.
really.
There were a lot of werewolves in it, from
Yeah.
what I recollect.
there were.
So,
Vampires. You remember the 6 vampires on the stone?
yep.
Yes.
Anyway, I stand by it. I thought the ending was perfect. I really liked it, especially they tied it back into the story earlier in the movie. It worked for me.
I agree with you, Mike. I loved it.
I
bet, like,
I enjoyed it as well. But Go ahead.
I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to type in Blair Witch Project ending and see if the next word that comes up in the predictor is sucks. Blair Witch Project. Oh, we got ending. Hang on. Ending. No. Ending meaning, ending explained. I would have loved if it said sucks. Let me just try.
Hold on, I'm going to google.com.
Oh
No,
my God,
it
you
All
guys.
right.
All right.
What the fuck is this?
New
Pause.
Jersey,
Nick.
No, it barely comes up on Google.
ass play.
Let me tell you. Hang on. I'm gonna do this myself now. The Flickists.
I know.
Ball hair.
If we just keep searching for it, I'm going to do it every day. The Flickist.
As you guys are doing web searches, I have a question for everybody. Does anybody like Blair Witch 2 more than 1?
I never saw it too. I will never,
saw
ever.
two.
I never saw 2.
Such a piece of shit.
I guess
do
that's
have
a no,
my
except
That
for
would be a no.
Dave, who hasn't seen it. But
My one friend who I saw Blair Witch with, and we were laughing through it. He likes it better than the second one. He likes the second one better.
oh well.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
the second one I hate. It's another one of those I hated when I first saw it, but it's grown on me a little bit, but still not as good. But yes, sir.
Why do you think that this one, the original, took time to grow on you, but Paranormal Activity hit like a bomb?
Because Paranormal Activity actually showed you shit. That's why. It actually showed you some scary shit.
Yeah.
And it hit you over the head. Whereas Blair Witch was all, you had to really think about it. Not that I'm an idiot or anybody else is an idiot, but it was just, they didn't show you too much. It was all just a bunch of bitching for a lot of time. But, I mean, I don't want to drone on about it, but go ahead. Anybody else?
Well,
See,
I
I like that it was more left to your imagination. Like that's actually one of the things I think did work for it.
right.
I think part of it is that it was so much shaky cam,
True.
and also that there was what do you call it? Like now it kind of fits with the zeitgeist, found footage in general, because everybody here has a phone with a camera on it every second of the day. You know what I mean?
Right.
It seems like anybody could just go and make footage of a ghost.
Yeah, true.
Well, I think it was the fact that they were going out there to investigate this thing and do a documentary. Like I don't know. Like to me, it still holds up. I will watch it when it's on. Even though I know everything that's about to happen, it still just absolutely works for me. So
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, still works for me too. I still watch it. I try to watch it every Halloween. I didn't this year, but maybe I'll get to it. Maybe in November. Maybe that would be cool. It's Halloween all year round in my place, but I want to get to Dave and his recommendation.
All right, the film I decided to pick was The Tunnel. It is a film that just came out earlier this year. It's an Australian film. Basically, the story behind it is in Sydney, there's these abandoned train tunnels, and basically the government decides to use them for water recycling, and they abandon the project, and these journalists decide to investigate because they just basically quietly abandon the project. And then there's all these rumors about, the homeless people that were living down there are disappearing and stuff like that. So they go to investigate, essentially, and they find something, why they abandoned the project so quickly and why people are disappearing. I really enjoyed this film. It's really solid. I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but I thought it kind of plays out more like, it is found footage, but it plays out more like a documentary because they do kind of post-incident interviews with some of the characters. It's not really giving anything away because you know that right from the beginning that certain people live. So, but it's basically, I really enjoyed this film. It only has a single monster in it, and that's what I really liked about it, is that there's only one creature, or whatever. I don't even know if it's a creature, but yeah, check it out. It's a good film.
it's odd. I had never heard of that movie until you just mentioned it, or prior to today. But this morning, when I logged into IMDb, it came up as recommended for you, along with The Woman and a couple other ones I hadn't seen
Woof.
yet. So good timing.
Yeah. They actually have it in an iPad app. You can get it that way, or you can also just like buy the DVD from them on their site. But I bought the iPad app. It's just kind of cool way of distributing their film.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's on the iPad. We got to talk about that, Dave. You can get it through the App Store.
Yeah. You just get it through. It's just an iPad app. It's like I think it's like $7 or $8. It basically is the movie. Has like some behind the scenes stuff as well, like featurettes. So, and it's just it's like a 1 gig iPad app. So it's a pretty cool idea. I guess it's this company Mopix is doing it. It's a distribution company. They make apps for like indie films if you want to distribute it on the App Store.
Okay.
Wow,
That's cool.
Very interesting.
it's the future, baby.
That's awesome.
Let's go to New Jersey, Nick.
Was I next?
Yes.
All right, cool. My recommendations are my favorites and pretty much the king of the kings of found footage movies. Like we had said before, a movie will come out like Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity that starts the trend, but I think the Rec movies are the perfection of it. Rec 1 and Rec 2, they're Spanish movies from Spain, not just in Spanish, but they are awesome. It's about a news crew. The first one is about a news crew that is just hanging out with a fire department as they go to a routine call where something weird was going on, and then they all get stuck inside the building. And each of the people who are tenants in this little apartment building start to have unusual symptoms and turn into almost like rage-infected zombies. And then they finally try and escape, but it's all quarantined off. Oh, funny, I should mention that word, because this movie, the first one was remade into the movie Quarantine. Now you're going to think, how could he recommend Quarantine to us? And I didn't. It's different. The original European version is way better than Quarantine, and in some parts it's a shot-for-shot remake. But the biggest difference that changes the whole movie is the last 15 minutes. That the last 15 minutes of the American movie, everything was caused by a terrorist making rage vampire zombie things. Okay.
Rape drug.
Yeah. In the European version, it's wholly different. And in fact, holy shit, that's what you'll say. You need to see the end of it. The movie is like kind of on a level the whole way through on good pace, and then it ramps up. And it ramps up to a level where it just delivers. The second movie starts at that ramped up level where a SWAT team is then called in. Within 5 minutes of the end of the first movie, the SWAT team goes into the building to eradicate whatever's going on inside there, right? Mm-hmm. One of my favorite parts of it, they're sent in with a doctor, and like they end up roughing the doctor up, getting into a fight with him, and they realize he's wearing a priest collar. And when they see that he's wearing a priest collar, they lose their shit. And it's kind of funny. Like when you go someplace with some guy who you didn't know he was a priest beforehand, you're fucked. And then that movie, even though it starts on that heightened level, ramps up again. And like I can't even imagine what they're going to do with Rec 3.
Have you seen
And
the
Rec
trailer
4.
for? Have you seen?
Oh
the
my
trailer
God,
for
there's
it?
a trailer?
Yeah. There's
Oh,
Why didn't
yeah,
you tell
man.
me immediately?
Because I thought you had seen it. The trailer. Do you want to know where it takes place?
Doesn't it take place outdoors in the countryside?
No, it's at a wedding.
That's at a wedding. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking it up right now.
It's like
Yeah.
the videographer's stuff from a wedding, with the outbreak of the disease or whatever it may be that we won't give away.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't seen the originals. I've seen Quarantine. Does the original, the record, have the thing that pissed me off about Quarantine was the breakdown of the female character, and she became such this like, inept little bitch, and I just wanted to punch her. So does that happen in the original? Because that was like really, really bugged me. Because
Pretty
it was like
much, but not as much.
okay.
No, but I feel like
she became
she's
such
not
a
as
weak
much,
female
though.
character. So
I think in the American version, everybody is very much an actor. You know what I mean? Whereas in the Spanish versions, I feel like everyone is a role player.
It's a little bit
I
more
Yeah.
realistic, the emotions.
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, I strongly recommend you watch the original and definitely watch Rec 2 because Quarantine 2 has nothing to do with Rec. I'm glad they're branching off in their own area.
You mean Quarantine 2, Rage on a Plane?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that they aren't trying to mimic Rec 2 because that is perfection and that can't be replicated.
No,
Now-
and I mean, like the first time I saw Rec 1, it was in my top 10 immediately. When I saw Rec 2, top 5.
Yeah, actually, I think Rec 2 is better than Rec 1.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Now, I saw Quarantine before I saw Rec, and I liked Quarantine. I didn't think it was a bad film, but then, like you said, Rec, just so much better.
So much better, for sure.
But
And, go ahead. Sorry.
but I do think Quarantine is a decent film on its own.
Yeah. I mean, I like Quarantine for what it was. I thought, and it's funny, the guys that directed Quarantine made a film called the Poughkeepsie Tapes, which still hasn't been released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one I want to see. I only hear good things about it.
Yep. And
You can't find it. It's not available on Netflix. I think you have to buy it.
Yeah.
No, you can't buy it. It has no distributor at all.
Really?
You have to find a torrent of it if you want to see it, unless some distributor ponies up and puts that thing out. And I hear it's really good. I'm going to be watching it myself soon, but.
But I would say, because a lot of times you hear people like shitting on Quarantine, though, but I think it's people who saw Rec first.
And there's that, but there's also I have this my own little theory. You can agree or disagree. If you want to disagree, it's fine. But a lot of times when there is a Americanized version or American remake of a foreign film, when people don't know about it, what a lot of people tend to do is they rush and try to get that foreign film so they can be that person that says, I saw it first, and I think this movie's better.
Right.
That happens all the time. It happened with The Departed. I had no idea The Departed was, and I know it's not horror, but I knew The Departed. I didn't know that was a remake of a Japanese trilogy or whatever.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
Infernal Affairs.
yeah, and then everybody's like, oh, Infernal Affairs is so much better. Come on. Like, you know what? They're two totally different movies in a way, and people just love to do that just so they can say,
Right.
I saw it first. I loved it first. I mean, that's the definition of a hipster.
Fucking hipsters.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like, you know what? Don't give me that
No
shit.
offense, Ted.
Oh, oof. Anyway, but that's
Sorry.
that's
I had to
sorry
say
about that. I had
I-
to
The one thing that I do like about the original Rec though is that I feel like it's more based in European culture. Like
Yeah.
over here, everything's got to be terrorists, right?
Yes, exactly,
Over there, they have no problem with the supernatural being a part of life. Especially people of deeper ethnicities. It's just it's just more like a fact of life that there are ghosts and there are spirits or something like that. And I found that to be a bigger part of Rec.
Yep, I totally love.
I would agree with you, and I think that's one reason why Rec, the plot line of Rec 2 would not work as Quarantine 2.
Yep. And I think a good Christmas pick this year for the Slashercast is they're the makers of Rec's other film that I strongly recommend everybody watch is A Christmas Tale. And the only way to see that is on what is it, the 6 films that
6 films to keep you awake.
keep you awake.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't recommend that movie enough, and it would make a pretty neat discussion because it's like a 80s. It is based in the 80s. Am I right, Ted?
I believe it is the best way that I would describe it. It's like
It's Goonies
it's Goonies. It's like an R-rated Goonies
mixed
with an axe murderer.
with an axe murderer, and it's a female axe murderer dressed as Santa Claus.
Dressed as Santa Claus.
And
Yep.
it's a Christmas Tale?
It's called A
It's
Christmas
called
Tale.
A Christmas Tale.
It is so freaking watchable. It's hard to find on IMDb because I think it's in the
Spanish title.
But if you look it up on Amazon, the 6 films to keep you awake. It's a good little set, and it's dirt cheap for 6 movies made by foreign filmmakers. So Highly recommended though, and there's a grindhouse zombie movie that they also put within this movie. So it's a movie within the movie that the kids use or utilize for the plot of the movie. It's very cool movie, but I'm not going to get into it too much. Are you done, Nick?
Oh yeah, man, I'm good. Are you gonna blow us away with your pick?
I'm going to blow you away with this. You may or may not agree with this, but I really don't care. All right. For my pick, I picked a Tales from the Crypt episode.
Nice.
And that Tales from the Crypt episode is Television Terror with Morton Downey Jr. from season 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, this episode, basically it's like a Ghost Hunters type of show, same as Grave Encounters, where they go to a haunted house to, it's sort of like, it was kind of mocking Geraldo Rivera, because it was Morton Downey Jr. at the time, and the two of them were, competitive. But basically, it's Morton Downey Jr. and his crew go into this haunted house to record some paranormal activity, and it's actually, it's not a found footage movie, it's like a live footage, or it's not a movie, but it's like a live footage show. And then you have the producer and director outside, at the control booth, talking to Morton Downey Jr. and his crew. And as the show progresses, it gets eerier and eerier and creepier, and a lot of movies have sort of borrowed from it. Grave Encounters would be one. I'm sure they have seen the episode. I'm drawing a blank on a couple of the other ones, but yeah, it's so enjoyable. And for me, Tales from the Crypt, the series itself, there's very few and far between good episodes, and this one is by far my favorite episode of all of them. And it's actually a great acting job by Morton Downey Jr. It has a very gory ending too, and I'm not going to ruin anything for you because this thing came out in the early 90s. So has anybody else seen this episode?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about you,
Why,
Nick?
yes.
Why, yes.
I may have
Inside
seen it
joke.
moments ago on YouTube, in fact,
Yeah?
where it is showing in 3 simple parts.
Yes. What's everybody's take on that show? Did anybody not enjoy it, or if you recall it?
That episode of the show in general.
The episode itself, yeah.
I like that episode, really. And this was right about the time when he was really falling from grace.
Oh, yeah, he was on his way out, yeah.
And actually, I don't think he lived a whole lot longer
Oh, no,
than
he
that.
did. Yeah. He didn't, Morton Downey, I
thought he died only a couple years after his show went off the air.
No. He was still around, because he was, he had a whole thing with Stern. Yeah, he died in 2001.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
maybe he just died in my head.
Oof. I didn't have a problem with Morton Downey Jr. I thought he was a really decent guy. I mean, he was funny. But besides
I didn't
that,
like him because he got into a fight with Roddy Piper, but it was fake. But I didn't know, dude.
it's all
I
fake,
didn't know.
yeah. But yeah,
You wished him dead, didn't you?
the
Not that hard.
The episode itself is really enjoyable. I highly recommend you seek it out. Just try to rent it from Netflix if you can. I'm pretty sure that Tales from the Crypt is going to go on Netflix Instant because recently they've been selling these season sets for like $10 at Walmart, on Amazon, you name it, and I don't know why. Why do I always mention Walmart? Fuck Walmart. Okay, I just have a few questions to throw out, and then we're going to get to our top 10 lists. Oh, I blew your cover, Mike. I blew your cover.
Son of a bitch.
All right, it's going to be really quick. One question is, what makes found footage film work?
Well, I think when it works, it's the feeling that it could happen to just about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are in a situation that's probably not going to end very well for them. And if you can connect to the people, then you can get that sense of what's going to happen to them. It really pulls you into the story. And if you can get pulled into the story, then it can definitely work for you.
All right. Anybody else have a cool answer for that one?
I pretty much agree with that. If it's something that feels real, to you, it's easier for you to buy into what you're seeing, whatever it may be, whether it's witches, whether it's ghosts, whether it's serial killers, whatever. If you feel almost complicit in what's going on, I mean, you just by nature have like almost your own vested interest in what's going to happen. I think, unfortunately, and this is just something that I've been waiting to bring up about found footage movies, one of the first questions that like any cynic will ask is, why the fuck are you still taping? Why are the people in the Blair Witch Project, why are they still walking around carrying the cameras in front of them? The one guy's got like shoulder mounted shit and all this other stuff, and same thing in Grave Encounters.
I will say that they did do a good job of explaining, at least partly in Grave Encounters,
I was gonna
that they needed the cameras for the light.
Yeah, but
you're right.
No,
They do that
they
correct,
needed the
by the way.
cameras for the light, and the host of it when it was scary as hell for that one moment, he was yelling back and saying, "We have to record this."
Right.
For some reason, for something like that, people need to see.
People
But-
will need
show,
to see
for the
this.
show.
But I think that's like an easy, that's such an easy thing, because the girl Heather said the same thing in Blair Witch Project, because they said that they were like, put the fucking camera down, and she was just like, no, I want to document this because we're all gonna laugh about it later. And when all this like crazy shit is going on around you, like I don't think, I mean, I bought into it just fine at the time, but honestly, throw that shit away.
I think it
and
works
run.
better. I think it works better in Grave Encounters because they're
I agree.
it's a paranormal show. Whereas Blair Witch, I'm in agreement with you because she was annoying, and I'm not going to get into that. But
well, dude, how many people would have fucking lived through Cloverfield if they just dropped the fucking camera?
exactly.
Right? Instead it
man.
became a tragedy.
Well, T.J. Miller might have.
So I think we answered the next question: what doesn't make a found footage film work? I'm sure. Does anybody want to add anything to that question? Or?
I haven't really seen one that was really particularly bad yet. I mean, I think that some are starting to come out. There's one I think called The Tapes, where like people are kind of getting into this now, where it's like, it looks cheap, it looks easy to do. Let's get into it and let's tear it apart. But I mean, even like Paranormal Entity, which is I don't even like to say because it's the fucking awful ripoff of Paranormal Activity that they produced like the next day. It was actually kind of good. It was slow. It wasn't really paced very well. It might be the worst found footage movie I saw yet, but it was still kind of good. I mean, it was not terribly creepy, but it shows you kind of how easily you can make it and how easily you can make something like that creepy. But I think that these movies are going to do themselves in because there's not a whole lot of ways that you can make a found footage movie and make it, interesting. Like, all right, we've gone the Grave Encounters route, we've gone the Wreck route, we've gone the Paranormal Activity of let's set the camera up in the house route. What else is there? There's not a whole lot. And there will be more creative ones where somebody outthinks me and comes up with it. But, overall, it's just not it's not as multifaceted, as you could imagine it to be.
Right. Well, that's good that you brought that up because my next question is, do you think found footage films will last? And I think you just answered that.
I actually have something that I wanted to add just on that question. There was another point that I wrote down. And I guess this is mainly applies most recently to the Paranormal Activity movies. One thing that they have on their plus sides and why movies like that will continue to be made and be successful is, they rely a lot on the big gotcha moments and the big jump scares, and jump scares will never get old. They're the easiest scares to pull off on any, even the most jaded horror fan. You can still jolt somebody with something that they're not expecting, but while they're effective, they don't last. And you're not, if you get like boo jump scared in the middle of a movie, you're not going to still be creeped out by that jump scare when you're driving home after the movie. Right. And so that's why I think the Paranormal Activity movies, they're good for what they're doing now, But I think it was Nick that said it. There's no reason to see him again. Once you've got the jump scares, or maybe you see it a second time with a friend or something like that who hasn't seen it yet, just to get them scared. But they don't have staying power of a movie that really is creepy. And I am in the camp with Mike that I think the Blair Witch Project maintains that even after so many years, after so many viewings. I know I still get creeped out by it. That's all I wanted to say about that.
Well, fun.
Yeah, I do agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It has to have something more than just a cheap jump scare.
Well, I think the first Paranormal Activity the first one doesn't just have jump scares in it. There's a lot more to it.
Right,
yeah, there's
exactly.
a creep
and that's why it
man.
sticks with you. Though.
Yeah, exactly. That one had.
Go ahead. Sorry,
Yes. Well, no. That one definitely had the most, certainly out of the three, of the creep factor, and it's not just the huge knocking on a door all of a sudden, but it is the hey, go downstairs and you look and there's a light fixture swinging that shouldn't be swinging.
Right.
Who
Stuff like
hasn't
that.
experienced something like that, like a door that shuts itself,
Right,
or
exactly.
footsteps or something.
I kind of want to bring something up real quick about that. So there's been a lot of people complaining about Paranormal Activity, as I said at the beginning of the show, about the third one, and we're gonna have 4 and 5 now. Great, way to go, everybody! And so many people say that they aren't scared by it, and I think it's sort of just a macho thing to do these days. That like, oh, I ain't scared from that movie. Does anybody else feel that about the Paranormal Activity movies? Like, I mean, after I saw it, I've seen so many horror movies, and after I saw the first one, I was actually scared.
Oh yeah,
So was I.
Like, it was hard for me to sleep. I was having nightmares and shit.
I could only name maybe about 5 movies in my life that ever actually scared me, and I can't even think of them right now. But like, all right, maybe like Pet Sematary did when I was a kid. Night of the Living Dead, it was another one,
Right.
and that's like it.
Right.
And then this movie came, and it actually made me feel like afraid.
Yep. I mean, those people that say that these movies aren't scary, I just want to know what you find scary. And if you say The Exorcist, I'm going to smack you on the freaking face, because I'm tired of everybody using as an, oh, The Exorcist, that's the one that's scary. Every time.
But why would you... do you think The Exorcist is not scary?
No, I think it is. But everybody uses
That's
that
the
as
go-to one.
That's the one that they all throw. It's like, what's your favorite band? Beatles. And okay, name 20 Beatles songs, Nick it. But whatever.
All right, well, here's the thing though. I can say that I didn't have any problem sleeping after watching it. It was unsettling. I don't get nightmares from the movie, but like it definitely was one of those things like, holy shit.
Right.
Like I don't know if anybody else, I've actually had some kind of paranormal stuff happen.
I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that. We'll get into it on another show when we have Slashercast Hunters. But
so I wasn't too worried. So maybe that's one reason why it didn't affect me, because hey, been there, done that.
Oh,
but it definitely, while I was watching it, it definitely was a sense of, all right, well, what the fuck is going to happen now?
all right.
I wouldn't say I had any problem sleeping.
Well, I just have one more question. Why do you think they're more popular now than before? I mean, when Blair Witch came out, and there wasn't too many copycats of Blair Witch, and when Cannibal Holocaust came out, there weren't too many copycats of Cannibal Holocaust.
Well,
do you think it's the fluke of Paranormal Activity's score at the box office?
No, because Blair Witch Project scored like crazy at the box office.
It did, yeah, but
But I think what happened is Cannibal Holocaust inspired something different. It didn't inspire any found footage. It inspired people to say, let's go one step further. Let me see how much grosser I can be. Let me see how much more I can get away with.
Yeah, it inspired cannibal movies.
yeah.
If you look at that.
Well, there's always a zeitgeist to horror movies, and sometimes it's a reflection of the times. Like if there's a serial killer, there will be serial killer movies or whatever. Here we are, and everyone, like I just said, has a camera. We have citizenship journalism, whatever you want to call it. We can film things on our own. Why can't we film the ghosts around us? it makes sense to everyone that this could be happening to me. And I think that that's really what it is. Like, there's very little in our lives that goes undocumented. You know, and I think it just fits directly into the zeitgeist so neatly.
Variety of reality shows and all that kind of shit.
Yeah. So.
Maybe that'll be the next one. It'll be like the Jersey Shore, except found footage, and it'll be a horror comedy.
I actually had an idea about one of those, but no.
Remember that I wrote that. Now, when you see the trailer for it,
When somebody
like 10
listens
years,
to this episode and runs with it. All right.
Douchebag.
I think that'll wrap us up for the found footage discussion recommendations. And just want to go into our top 10 list with Mike. Next week on a very special episode of Slashercast.
You can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
Hey, is that a shitty movie? Well, turn it up.
I will bring you his head and I will place it on your piano.
That's right, we're going to be talking about movies so bad that you absolutely love them. Tune in next week to hear what our recommendations are for the best worst films.
featuring our special guest George Hardy from Troll 2. You can't piss on that.
Oh my God!
All right. Today we get another list from our good friends over at IMDb. And this is recent underrated horror films by managing editor Keith Simonton. So let's get into it. Coming in the first spot, we have The Mist by Frank Darabont, based on the Stephen King novel.
That is an underrated movie.
Yeah, definitely.
See, I disagree. I don't think it was an underrated movie because I think a lot of people really liked it.
Yeah, but I don't think everybody saw it.
Yeah, exactly. It performed horribly at the box office. And
yeah, but I think since then it's definitely picked up a viewership.
Well, yeah, it has, but it's not like a major thing where you say to, you know, just a regular Joe, hey, you ever see The Mist? No. I mean, that's my take on it. Maybe you're different. I don't know.
And by the way, Jesus, the most fucked up ending of all.
And Stephen King actually loves that ending.
Yeah, more than his own ending.
Yeah. So,
which is rare because he doesn't normally like anybody who changes the story.
They're about rules.
Yeah, that one's just so perfect. I remember seeing it in the theater and just being like blown away by it.
Yeah.
And I think Frank Darabont really has a good understanding of combining a solid character development and the horror elements together. Like there's so many good people in this movie that you're really tied into them, and you really do start to care about what happens to them at the end.
Exactly. Did you like?
Plus, Tom Jane is so cool.
Oh yeah.
Except for,
Deep Blue Sea.
No.
Well, he's awesome in that movie.
Sweetest thing.
Yes.
I don't know. I recently had heard that he had admitted to having been a male prostitute before becoming famous.
That's correct.
Dude,
man's gotta eat, man.
Gay for pay, man.
He ate a little
That's
extra.
the problem with living in California, man. It's tough out there. But
you should know.
Yeah, I do.
Jack? Is there something you need to tell us?
Have you guys watched the black and white version of The Mist?
No.
Way better. Way better to watch it in black and white. Simply.
Oh, you mean the same movie?
Same movie, yeah. The double DVD has the Frank Darabont wanted that movie to be in black and white, and the studio said no. That's why the effects kind of look like shoddy and shitty because they were done for a black and white movie. And if you watch the black and white version, it's even creepier.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
I gotta throw that on. I've got it.
Yeah. If you have the double disc, it's on the second disc.
Cool.
It's definitely a watch. But all right, what else? What else is on this list?
Coming in at number 2, from director Carter Smith, The Ruins from 2008.
That movie sucked.
Yeah, I think this one's actually way overrated.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, that's another one that not many people talk about because they just don't want to because they saw it. I guess. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it.
Well, here's one of the things in his making his list. He purposely looked at scary movies that did not have a lot of gore outside of context.
So this movie still sucks.
So I mean, yeah, but I think by his definition, movies that flew under the radar and don't have a ton of gore. Sure.
The one thing I'll give The Ruins is it's different, and it's handled completely differently than I expected.
Yeah.
So that had it going for it, but it kind of underwhelmed me. But I don't know. Dave, you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I remember sort of being like, it was okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I was pretty much meh on it.
I remember the alternate ending being better. I remember seeing that, and I remember that being better.
Right.
I don't remember what the alternate ending was, but I do remember watching it.
A lot better.
Well, let me just remember it. The alternate ending is the one where they get buried back at home, and then the flower pops up and is making the noise.
Okay.
The cell phone ringing noise, I think.
Ted, how about you? Have you seen The Ruins?
I haven't seen it actually, so I can't comment on it.
All right. Next on the list, then, Mikey.
All right, coming in at number 3, one of the movies I absolutely love, The Descent.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, that one I wouldn't call underrated.
I would because I don't think it got a lot of pull here, and especially with the alternate ending.
I'm thinking in the horror community. I mean, that one, that gets thrown out like a crazy motherfucker.
Well, it's one of those movies that works on multiple levels.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that drives the horror in this, because they're already stuck in a really shitty situation before you throw in the rest of it.
Yep.
And you have to watch, I think, the UK version.
Yes, for sure.
Has the correct ending to it. So if you get a chance to see both endings, I think you'll agree that one works a lot better than the other.
Yep.
And just on a side note, one of the best posters ever done. I thought it was very creative, and it really draws the eye in.
Yep.
I still haven't seen The Descent. I know you're all gonna kill me tonight because I didn't see Hannibal. What was it? Cannibal Holocaust and this, but I still haven't seen this.
Probably
All of shame.
Well,
It's not because I don't want to see it. I will, but I just
because
I
he's
don't know.
too busy watching all these movies about people eating babies and shit.
That's the fucking weird thing. Like, if you name the shitty random stuff on Netflix,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, die you zombie bastards. I loved it.
Yeah.
I am on the fringe over here, man.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I think that one's actually a little bit more forgivable, just because I don't think it had as large an impact as, say, Cannibal Holocaust does. Like, that's one that
It did get a theatrical run
Yeah.
in the States, but
it didn't get any push behind it, though.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
It pretty much disappeared right away.
all right, what's next, buddy?
Number 4, very recent film. So I don't know how it's underrated at this point, because it hasn't had the time to really build up an audience. Attack the Block.
Yeah, really. That
Yeah.
didn't even. That just
Yes,
came out.
That just
Literally
came out.
just came out. I believe it's still in theaters.
Yeah, well, it's coming out on Blu-ray, I believe.
I think
Tuesday.
it just did. It's on video on demand and stuff, right?
And technically not a horror film.
Well, it.
Unless we go by my definition, which means there's a monster in it and it kills people.
Exactly.
Mike the hype.
Yeah, I mean there's some gore in there. I mean it has some thrills, it has some chills, it's a comedy, but I wouldn't call it a sci-fi movie, even though there's aliens in it. Really, I mean, it's
it's
a
kind of hard.
multi-genre movie.
It's hard to define by any one label.
Right. I mean, I'd put it more in the
Action comedy.
yeah. Yeah.
I still want to see that one though. I haven't had a chance to. It just came on video on demand the other day, and I've been too busy with the paranormal activities and stuff. So
Yeah, that's one I definitely want to catch up on too. If nothing, right, Edgar Wright recommended it, and I trust his word.
Yeah.
Number
What,
5.
Edgar Wright recommended what? Attack the Block?
Yeah.
Yeah, he produced it.
Well, I know, but I trust his vision.
smart guy.
That's his like writing partner now. It's Joe Cornish.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do that a lot of time producers don't necessarily have a whole hand in it. So if he saw it, he liked it, that's enough for me.
Yes, I'd like to recommend NewJerseyNick.com as a site. I think it's pretty good. I may have had a hand in crafting it, but
I believe there is room for an edit there.
All right, next. Nope. Go on.
There'll be a link to this on the Flickist.com now. Number 5, a movie that I personally think was way overrated, 1408.
Yeah, I agree.
Overrated.
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 Overrated. Definitely.
Overrated.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that rave about it. I was bored. I didn't particularly care.
Really?
And yeah, I mean,
Overrated.
I like the original story, but the movie didn't work for me.
Overrated.
I thought it was pretty good, and I think that it's pretty much it's not like popular at all. So I mean, I don't know how you could think it was overrated. I think it. I mean, from where I sit, it's underrated, but from where you sit, it should be kind of right on.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who rave about it, and it just didn't hit for me. I would rather watch Identity again than this.
No,
Absolutely.
Wrong. Wrong.
Well, you know, we all have our opinions, and you can go fuck yours.
Vice versa. All right. It was
Any
a
other
sleeper
opinions
hit.
on that one?
Yes, it was a sleeper hit, and I think John Cusack did an amazing performance, being a single actor throughout. I'd say 75% of the movie. So, and it was creepy, so I enjoyed it. Next,
It had some parts to it that I kind of liked, but overall it just didn't end up working for me.
that's okay. Everybody has their own
Again,
opinions.
it's another case where there's so much exposition up front that I was like, well, what's left to discover?
No, it wasn't great, but I mean, I think it was a good movie to see once and done it. Wasn't Samuel L. Jackson in this movie?
Yeah.
How dare you speak bad about a movie with
And
Samuel
his
L.
one
Jackson?
F-bomb is, what is it? Something about
It's
that.
an evil fucking
Yeah,
room.
It's an evil fucking room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Number 6, Let Me In.
Okay.
The American.
Overrated.
The American.
Overrated.
I don't think it's overrated for me. I don't necessarily think it's underrated either. I think it is what it is.
It's rated.
It's rated.
Yeah, it's rated.
It's R-rated.
The original, the Swedish is so much better, but I can understand the appeal of this version as well.
I love this version. So.
Well, okay. See, here's the thing, and I have not seen Quarantine. But what I hear is it's very, very faithful to Rec, and I saw Let the Right One In, and it's just such a magnificent movie, and I really felt that if you've seen Let the Right One In, there's no reason to see Let Me In, because it's so much the same.
I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you that there wasn't much of a like if you can get people to watch Let the Right One In, then yes,
absolutely
they should watch that.
Right.
But this one fits a more American sensibility from a pacing standpoint.
Yeah.
From an action standpoint, I thought Chloe Moritz. I thought she was fabulous in it.
She was for sure.
So it worked for me. I really liked what they did with it. I liked that he stayed faithful to the feel of the Swedish film, but also tweaked it here and there to make it work better in an American market. I thought he did great. I think Matt Reeves is a great director. I think he's done no wrong for me yet. I can't wait to see what he's up against next.
And the American version apparently stayed closer or truer to the book that the original was based on.
Yeah, he did go back to the source material, so he didn't just take it directly. All I ever watched was this.
Exactly, and he included the cop character that wasn't in the original,
right?
Elias Koteas character.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it was no shot for shot Psycho kind of thing. But I mean, seeing and knowing the way that Let the Right One In went. I mean, there were obviously no surprises for me.
Right.
Well, the one thing that they did not do in the American version that was in the Swedish version was that
weirdo crotch shot.
Yeah, because I believe in the book and it's implied in that movie she was a boy.
Yep.
So they kind of skipped over that part for the American version, but and actually that was one of the scenes where in the original I was like, wait, what the fuck did I just see there?
Yep.
Dong, dong, dong.
Are they showing
dong.
Are they showing a 12-year-old girl naked? This is not right. And then you realize that it's because it's a eunuch.
Yep.
And then it makes a little bit more sense at least. And then you're like, well, that's fucking disturbing.
Yep.
So that scene, I think, really was the one thing that was absolutely missing from the American version.
What, a naked 12-year-old girl?
Yes.
All right, next.
Thanks, Jake.
I'm not sure.
We've hit all the bases of Offensive House in this episode.
Okay, I'm just waiting for Jack to drop the C-bomb so we can just get it all in.
Next.
Cookies. The next movie, number 7. From the director of Wolf Creek, which I personally...
That's the movie you're talking about, right?
Sorry, yes. From the director of Wolf Creek, which is personally kind of overrated for me, Rogue.
Yes, that one is overrated for me too.
Yeah, I didn't think Wolf Creek was that great. I thought it was all right. But it was billed to me as, oh my god, this is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. And I was like, well, it's a horror movie, and I've seen it.
What, Wolf Creek you talking about?
Yeah. I haven't seen Rogue, but like you were saying, when you have to throw something on the poster that,
right,
you've seen something by this guy.
I would agree though that Rogue is a underrated film because not everybody has seen Rogue, but it's a decent movie, but it's not great by any means. It's definitely not great.
Is this the one with Orlando Jones?
No, this is the one with Michael
Sam
Vartan and Sam Worthington, one of his first movies.
And
Robin Mitchell.
The Alice in Wonderland chick, Mia Waza something or another.
Okay.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Nah.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Najad.
Yeah, Robin Mitchell though from Silent Hill is also in it.
Oh, yeah, that was the one. That's a redeeming factor.
No, Robin Mitchell she's a good actress.
No, I like her.
She's in a shitty Silent Hill though.
Well, look, Silent Hill for the first half I thought was actually pretty decent, and then it just went into this fucked up area.
And I got good news. Don't forget, Silent Hill Revelation 3D is in post-production. But go on.
Lovely. Oh, God. All right. Anything else on that one?
No. Next.
All right. Number 8, and I highly agree with this as a pick. Triangle.
Yes. Agreed.
One of the best films I watched last year. I recommend it to just about everybody. I think it's fabulous. Melissa George, beyond just being cute, is just fabulous in this movie, and I have nothing negative I can add to it.
Yep.
I'll see it someday.
Oh, yeah.
It's the story of Pythagoras, right?
No.
We're not going to, just watch it. If you haven't seen it.
No, I'll watch it. I just wanted to make one joke,
I appreciated that joke, Dave. I did.
The nerd of me, well, if I had to think about it for a second, I was like, wait a minute, they didn't make a movie about him.
I wasn't thinking about that because I was still on Robin Mitchell, and I just remembered she was in The Crazies. She was the star of The Crazies remake.
Yes.
All right, but go on.
And fabulous in that film. You can't talk a whole lot about it without giving it away.
Yeah.
But just from start to end,
it's good.
Everything worked for me.
Just watch it.
Ending is fucking fabulous. Watch the goddamn movie.
You're saying fabulous a lot on this show.
I'm feeling fabulous. I spent a lot of time around makeup artists.
I think somebody won $1 million today.
I swear to God, I will hate you so bad.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Go on, sir. Next.
Number 9, from the mind of M. Night Shyamalan, which is probably the main reason why this film was so underrated. Devil.
I like Devil.
I liked it too.
I liked it too. All right, I retract my woof.
Yeah, that was not a selling point, I don't think. for anybody to put that on the poster.
Devil is a one and done movie, though.
Absolutely, you can't watch it again now that you know the truth.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to really pick it up. It kind of, I don't know.
I thought it was well made, though.
It was, and it was made by the guys who directed Quarantine.
That is correct.
And it was filmed in Philadelphia as well. And the movie, though, to me, felt little TV movie-ish. Like a made-for-TV movie, sort of, at times.
I think it felt like an earlier M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Shyamalama Ding Dong.
I don't care. No, he can go fuck himself severely.
Yes, he should go fuck himself more than Wes Craven should.
Absolutely.
Wes, or anybody that knows Wes, we do not hate Wes Craven. Only Nick does. Go on.
Wes, we love you.
I do not hate Wes Craven. I was paid and told
it was a
stand
joke.
Here, say this, and I did it. Anyway, this movie is the first of the Night Chronicles, which is going to be 3 movies about like the supernatural happening in the real world, sort of, which is what he's good at writing, not good at directing. He was good at it twice. Yeah. I'll let you figure it out on your own what those 2 were. Anyway, next up,
10.
I could think of 3, but we'll probably disagree on those.
Number 10.
And
actually, like the next 2 movies are going to be pretty cool. The next one is going to be like a court case where the jury is arguing over supernatural crime, and then the one after that is supposed to be the unused sequel to Unbreakable.
Huh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I read about that, but all right. The last movie on our list is one that I'm not familiar with, so I'll let you guys tell me whether it's underrated or not. And it's not necessarily a recent movie. It's from 1988, and it's called The Lady in White.
So they put a whole bunch of good and not so good movies on here, overrated and underrated, and then one very obscure one.
I think that's very much the hipster pick of the bunch.
Very pussy.
Yeah, really. You could have put any fucking movie last if you were just going to go, well, any movie from the 20th century.
Yeah.
Choking hazard.
I'm not familiar with this movie at all.
Choking hazard.
Except for the fact that
podcast again. Woo.
The other thing I know about this movie is that it has Mona from
she's
Who's the Boss.
Yeah,
Lucas Haas is in it though.
Lucas Haas is the kid. Yeah. It's a good. I think it's PG-13 too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yes, it is.
It's a good little creepy movie. Kind of falls apart a little bit, but it's good. It is definitely underrated. I'll give him that. But I liked it. I haven't watched it recently, but it's been a while. But
I might actually have to check this out because the guy who directed Fear No Evil, which is an even older, like 1981 movie that I actually kind of liked. So I have to check this out.
Yeah, I've never heard of Fear No Evil.
Now think about how many movies he could have picked for this pick. He could have thrown up Grave Encounters. He could have thrown up, half the movies we fucking talk about. Wreck, for Christ's sake. Right. And he threw up some. He couldn't find another one within the past 5 years. Who wrote this? Let's tear him down.
Managing editor Keith
Sim.
See the first comment that came up here on IMDb, I absolutely agreed with. It could have been a perfect replacement for this. High Tension.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's one that really that I hated the first time that I saw it, and it has grown on me so much.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I
agree.
He definitely could have picked. He could have picked a bunch of other ones, but anyway.
Oof. So is that everybody? Everything or every? Is that everything from the list?
Yep, that's the end of the list.
All right, and that's the end of our show.
Episode 5 is ending.
Yes, it's over.
Oh.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our some friends.
I have one more recommendation since it is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going against pretty much everything that we have mentioned so far in the past 5 episodes, but a Halloween classic for those of you, especially those of you with kids, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Fuck yes, Ted rules. 10 points, man. We only brought it up briefly last week, and I was like, I got to hit on that again because that's a perfect Halloween movie.
Yep.
Yes. Any of the fucking Charlie Brown movies around the holidays, that's it.
Yep.
I thought of another Halloween movie that wasn't brought up on that list from a couple weeks ago because I've been thinking about Halloween-based horror movies, and one of them is Idle Hands.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. It's a shitty fun movie, but it's a fun movie. Definitely check that one out. It's horrible, but it's a good horrible.
It's horribly fun.
Yeah, it's horribly fun. And since it is Halloween, I strongly encourage all of our listeners, if you have made it to this part of the podcast, if anybody's going to Halloween parties or whatever this weekend, take some pictures. Send us some pictures of some awesome costumes, and so we can talk about them and show them to other people. Please. I think
It's actually. I think more people will have already gone to parties over the weekend by the time they hear this.
Yeah, but they probably maybe took pictures, and then if they
Exactly.
and then
So send all the pictures that you have taken.
have taken. Yes, that's right. I keep forgetting that we're not live. All right, Mike. Do you have anything for the people?
That's it, except for we do want to hear your opinions. So head on over to slashercast.net. That's your one-stop shop. You can also send us an email at contact@slashercast.net or tweet us up at @slasher_cast. And I'm not going to forget it this time. Find our fan page on Facebook. Search for Slashercast. We should pop right up for you.
All right. And let's not forget your website, too.
Yes. Thank you. You can read my film reviews on theflickist.com. And actually, I thought there was going to be more to what I had to say, but I ran out of words.
All right. Nick?
I got one more quick plug.
Okay.
Just
Ted. Ted, do you have anything to plug for us?
I do. I didn't, but I thought that I would just give the website for anybody interested in the Zombie 5K that I ran a week ago. It's runforyourlives.com. Check it out. See if the 5K is coming near you. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
I missed the beginning of the show. Did you discuss whether or not you survived?
I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I did not.
Oh.
I became a zombie. So, Mike, I suggest that you go on iTunes, download the episode, and leave a nice review for us.
I actually already have left a review for us.
Oh, he's the one.
That was Mike.
Crap.
You son of a bitch.
I put that right in the review.
Dave.
You can follow me at TheHumanIMDb on Twitter, and please post an iTunes review, whether you love it, hate it, tell us to go fuck ourselves, whatever. We got a nice review from someone who's not Mike. The other day it said they spent a day at work listening to episodes of the show. They said it's fun and focused. If you love horror, check it out ASAP. So, send us more reviews like that. That'd be great.
And thank you for that review, kind sir.
And then,
or
New Jersey.
Yeah, it's Byavian. That's the person's name on
Byavian.
Yeah, that's the one.
Double the bird. Thank you for your review.
Yes, sir. And if you
Nobody's gonna tell him to go fuck himself.
Yeah, don't nobody tell him to go fuck himself, please. Damn it, Nick. New Jersey Nick. What do you got?
NewJerseyNick.com, in fact. Burger and diner reviews across the state of New Jersey. I know it has nothing to do with horror, but it's my thing, so I plug it. That's the way it goes. At New Jersey Nick on Twitter. That's where you can follow me. Also, you can email me, newjerseynick@slashercast.net. I almost forgot our address. Also, comment on the stuff. We want an argument. Post right on our Facebook wall. You guys suck. No, wait.
No.
You guys are wrong about this movie, and
Strike
we'll defend ourselves, and we'll let you go. Come on.
We promise not to tell the majority of you to go fuck yourselves.
Exactly. I have something to plug that's non-horror as well, and that would be my friend's podcast, You've Got Geek on You. I strongly recommend anybody or everybody to listen to that show. They're a well-rounded group, much like us, and they discuss all things geek. They love talking about comic books, movies, you name it, and they have a good handle on her show. So definitely check that out.
Jack, just remembered. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I
go
just
ahead.
remembered. I did just post the first part of the Horror University about Nosferatu.
All right.
And I will attempt another film this week and get another posting up.
I'm going to try and get another review up next week if I get time too. I mean, we are going to have more, so that everybody knows, at slashercast.net, we want to have, a better website out there, a more thoughtful one, because we've grown tired of, and I hope they aren't listening, Fangoria and Bloody Disgusting and all them who just, have gotten so far away from horror and so far away from just being honest about horror that it's kind of disheartening.
Well, before we do go, Nick, is there any kind of secret word people should give us?
Weenus. The word is weenus.
I think the word should be...
How would that be spelled?
Weenus.
Weenus.
That is the loose skin at your elbow.
Sure.
That's
if you make it this far, just comment the word weenus so we know we got people listening, all right?
Somewhere.
All right.
And if nobody ever hears this, at least I will, motherfucker.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Rock on.
Stay scary.
Peace.